You slowly begin to awaken, groggy and in pain. The pain emanating from the back of your head. You're not entirely sure how you got here or where here is. Before you fully come to your senses, a putrid smell strikes you, an acidic smell mixed with rotting damp and mold. The thumping pain from the back of your head snaps you back to your senses as you try to focus your eyes. You realize you've been stripped of all your possessions. You see the hard iron bars of the cell that surrounds you, and you feel the cold stone floor beneath your bare legs. Only the dim flicker of the torchlight aids your vision. Suddenly you hear a voice. No, 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 please, no! Followed by a dull fizzing noise. A male voice aggressively barks, now get rid of the others, followed by a door that slams. Upon closer inspection of your surroundings, you spot 2 more cells, or 3 more cells. The cells are attached by a chain system that connect to the center of the room between 2 pillars. The fiery embers of a small brazier light the way. Following the chains, they head over to the rear of the room before heading down to a large wooden lever. The other cells appear to hold other humanoids, 2 of which appear lifeless on the ground. Jesse, you wake up in similar circumstances. However, you're tied to a pillar in the center of the room, the rope around your waist and arms. You see directly in front of you a second pillar, similar to the one you're tied to. That's when you hear, why bother, they're going to kill us anyway, followed by some footsteps that appear to be heading your way. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
Right off the bat, love it.
Right off the bat.
Yep.
Oh, I need to turn on action dice or whatever and turn off that horrible beeping sound.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, I got a 13. Oh, wait, plus my
Initiative. I got 10
plus
total.
dexterity.
I got 8.
Oh, right, I forgot I changed my stuff on it, so it's plus dexterity, yeah. Which is amazingly -1, so I rolled 12.
12.
That is amazing.
Jordan, would you say you're Jesse? Did you say you're a 10?
10 total, yeah.
I definitely wouldn't say he's a 10.
Out of 100.
I still wouldn't be that nice.
Ooh.
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
Get your game on.
Jesse definitely needs to.
Okay, Jordan, you're up first.
Okay.
Ooh.
What am I doing? What am I rolling against?
You're not
What are
rolling
you-
against
what are
anything.
you
I mean,
doing?
essentially, you're in a cage.
Okay.
You can see that there's chains that go up to the ceiling. So I mean, it doesn't look. Do you want to roll me some investigation? I guess if you're looking around at your
Would that be investigation or perception?
investigation, I think, because I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption that you're looking for a way out here.
All right. And you're sure you don't want perception because that's +2. Investigation is 0.
I mean, to be fair, I guess as you come to your senses, you
it's 13.
you notice that
Or
the
11.
cage,
Sorry, 11.
the cage doesn't necessarily look like it's attached to the floor because of this pulley system that you can see.
Well,
It
see, I
looks
was
like
actually about to ask that if it was attached to the floor or not.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's certainly it's movable. Whether you've got the ability to move it is a different matter. But it certainly doesn't look like doesn't look like these have been put here for the reason they're being used for.
All right. Well, I mean, how smart's my character so I can figure this out? I mean, he's not stupid. That
Always a
guy
good
out there's
thing.
a counterweight. If he moves closer, it should make it where they can move.
What, you mean the one who's tied to the pillar?
Oh, I thought he was kind of standing out in the open.
No, that's just
No,
he's currently
tied.
tied
Yeah.
to the pillar.
Oh, you're a crappy counterweight.
Yeah.
So what you know is you look around, you see these chains coming up from your cage and the other cages. There's a sort of a ring system above your cages heading towards the center of the room where there's another ring, and then you see the chains head off behind the pillar. Just behind that pillar where Jesse is, you can see a lever that looks like it's connected to those chains.
It's impossible. We're screwed. We're all gonna die here. I yell over to whoever Jesse's character is to see if he's conscious.
Yeah, I mean, he looks awake.
Yeah, I
As-
mean,
as-
because
as
I
alert-
don't know
as
his
alert.
character's name or anything yet, so I'm just kind of
Yeah.
yelling, "Hey, you!"
As alert as he can be.
What?
Oh, can you reach that lever over there? We're a little stuck.
I'm a little tied up at the moment.
Oh, got puns for days. Okay, can you kick it? Reach it with your face. Yell at it.
Can I make a sleight of hand to try and get out of my bindings or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, I mean,
How
I think,
how
I
much
think
motion do I have?
you can use sleight of hand. I mean, the ropes are tied around your waist and your arm, so it looks like there's whoever's done this hasn't done it particularly well. I don't think they were expecting any kind of movement.
All right, let's see. We're off to a bang up start.
I see why they weren't expecting any movement.
He
Yeah,
roll
I
a
mean,
1?
That's a nat
Yep,
one.
he
yeah.
did. He did.
Sorry, I didn't realize your
You
character
managed to
was
make-
paraplegic.
You managed to make the ropes tighter.
He got out, got another rope, and tied it around him.
That's the game, folks. Thank you for joining us.
You actually
Yeah.
tie your hands together.
Well, so that's my turn. I'm struggling against the ropes.
Did you want to? I mean, you're tied to this pillar. Did you want to try and move? Did you?
Yeah, can I
used-
like
You've used your action. I'm sure you can still move.
can I kind of like
Yeah.
move around the pillar?
Yeah. So
over
you can sort
there?
of scoot round to the pillar.
And now is that lever within say kicking range?
No. So these are 5-foot squares. So you're kind of. It's just probably out of reach. I mean, you can make an athletics check for me. See if you can.
Okay, what
Take
is
a
my
shoe at it.
athletics?
Yeah. See if you can. I mean, bear in mind you're wearing nothing pretty much. You're in sort of just a sort of a loincloth type.
And that draws in the feet.
Some kind of undergarments.
See, look at that, nat 20.
Okay.
His willy
you-
shoots out and hits the lever.
Yeah, right. I kick off my sandal and it strikes the lever.
He said we don't have anything.
So you're stretching out as best you can, and it looks like it's a long way. Kyle, you're watching this and you're thinking, there's no way he's ever going to reach it. There's, it looks like there's a good foot short, and then all of a sudden,
It's like
All
Michael
of a
Jordan
sudden.
from Space Jam.
yeah, he just manages to click it, and that seems to be enough for it to trigger. And as it does, you hear the noise of chains rattling above your head as the cages start to lift in synchronization up above your heads.
That's
At that point,
bad.
you also hear two very panicked people as they run back towards the room, realizing that something's going on, and make
Oh, is
it
that them?
make it just inside the room. These guys, they look like normal civilians. They look, they don't look like they've been treated particularly well. They're they're wearing some fairly ripped and torn and battered rags, a few bruises, etc. But they look like they're intent on doing their job as well, which is, as you heard, to get rid of you.
Well, that was my turn.
Hi.
No.
Yeah, you got a bonus action if you want to use it, Jesse. Don't know what you could do.
Yeah, I don't really have any bonus actions.
You still got some movement as well if you wanted to. Let's say it took you sort of 10 foot or so to skirt around the back.
I'm still tied to that pole, so there's not much I can go. I'll stay right there for now.
Okay. Kyle, it's your turn.
Yeah. Right. You said it's just a rope that's holding Jesse.
Yep.
All right.
There is just behind you as well. There is a crate, or a chest, or a couple of chests that are there. But yes, it's just a standard rope that's tying Jesse to that pillar.
All right, and the two guys that just came in, they look kind of like mean. What you said, right?
They look like they are guards of this scenario. They look like they're based on what you heard. There was someone giving them orders, and it looks like they're coming to fulfill those orders.
But it also kind of
Right.
sounded like they're kind of like a militia. Like they're not necessarily a trained guard force. They're closer to civilians than anything. Yeah.
Based on what you can see, they don't look like they're
Yeah, like
they
they're
don't
not
look like
heavily
they're-
armored.
Yeah,
or...
they don't look like they maybe got any rank in this scenario. They look like they've just been told to do a job and they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't like where I am, so I am going to cast Magic Missile. 2 darts at the 2 guys, and then the 3rd dart is going to hit the pillar. See if I can cut the rope.
Kill Jesse. Oh.
Okay.
That is 3d4s. And I'm just going to roll them individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, magic missile. They just take the damage, don't they? There isn't a
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It can't
save for
miss.
it.
It's the only magic spell in D&D that doesn't have any roll. It strikes unerringly.
And then you just take a million shots at one enemy whenever you're a high enough level, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott, this guy took 2.
Okay.
The
The top
bottom
one-
guy, yeah, the top
bottom
one
took
took
3.
2.
Okay.
Bottom guy took 3, and the pillar / rope took 3 damage also.
Okay. You're aiming at the rope. Or the
Yeah.
pillar. Okay.
Yeah, the rope that's attached to the pillar.
Okay. So I mean, they all with unerring accuracy all hit their targets.
Yeah.
The 2 guys, their eyes widen. They can see that they've got some problems. The rope around 25's waist snaps. He's still stretching, trying to sort of get back from the lever, and he just falls onto his ass. And then it's their turn. So they.
I'm gonna shout, "You're welcome." Now get us out of here, or get us down.
They obviously see the danger coming from Kyle and head over.
Aren't they? All right, I have a question.
Mhm.
You said the cages
Yep.
lifted them up, or
No, just literally lifted off them. So these cages are sort of they're on the floor. There isn't a ground to these. The bottom
yeah.
to
So
these
you're
cages.
you're
They're
free. Kyle.
free to move.
Oh.
Yeah, you can move if you want. Sorry if I didn't explain that. Oh well,
Yeah.
you can move if you'd like, Kyle.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah,
whenever you-
sorry. So you were in cages that were
Yeah.
touching the ground, but there was no bottom to
But
them.
then, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they've
so they lifted up, so
Yeah.
you're free.
Correct.
Oh, nice. All right.
So you can move if you'd like, or a bonus action if you'd like.
Let me see.
So why did those 2 guys retreat?
Oh, because Kyle never
Kyle
moved
hasn't
because
finished his turn.
he didn't
Oh.
realize.
I see.
Yeah, that was my fault.
I mean, I understood you, Scott.
No, I got it. I think Kyle was just.
I thought we
confused, which made
lifted
sense.
up with the cages.
Oh.
Is how.
I mean, you could if you wanted to hold on, you could
Yeah.
just be hanging there.
Actually, it might be safer at this point.
Yeah. You know what?
Depends how high-
Yeah. I'm. Or, you know what? Want to move over here, and is it possible for me to take the torch off the wall?
Yeah, you can grab hold of the torch.
All right. I'm gonna take the torch
Okay.
off so that I have a blunt weapon.
You
Okay.
got
This,
a blunt? Nice.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna head up. I mean, he's gonna stand underneath the cage because that's the quickest route to you, and he's gonna have a pop at you. He's gonna swing his fist, so he lunges forward with his right hand, and he rolls a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
As he does, he connects smack on your jaw. 3 points of damage as it clatters against your jaw, sending you backwards. The other guy, spurred on by this current situation, seeing you take some damage, heads over, and also has a swing at you. And he rolls a 2, swinging his hand and missing you completely as you just pull backwards from the first
Yeah.
blow. Back to the top of the order. It's you, Jordan.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna stand with this guy who I don't know yet, and pull the lever again.
Okay. As you do, the jail cell just slams back down. I mean, sort of.
Yeah, but the
pretty
one guy's
quickly.
under it.
Yep, pretty quickly. He looks up, and as he sees the jail cell just slam down in front of him, he reaches his hand out, trying to grab at Kyle, but not quite making contact.
Yay. All right, so that was an interaction, right? Not an action?
Mhm.
All right, then I want to try and duke the other guy out.
Okay.
If they're low on health, I don't want to kill them. I just want to try and knock them out if possible.
Okay.
So you gotta
But-
shout non-lethal as you
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
I got that. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said it now, Jesse.
Yeah, no,
I figured that bit out. Thanks, Jesse.
I just always have
Is that-
loved the fact that like you can shout non-lethal as you're hitting them, and that makes it
Yeah.
okay.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
Nice. And that's 4. Or plus, do I add any bonuses to that?
No, I think we're just rolling for melee combat. You tend to do lots less damage, so
Yeah.
we're taking the rule that we're just a straight up D4.
So you went with D4. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, is the
All
way
right,
to
sounds
go.
good.
So yeah, 4 damage.
Yeah, he's still standing. He looks a bit ropey. He's still standing though,
Ropey.
as in he looks a bit groggy.
Ah.
Ah.
He's made of licorice.
Yeah.
It's I think it's Kyle's go. Oh no,
is
it's
it-
Jesse.
yeah,
Oh no,
I
we
was gonna
jumped
say-
the order, didn't we? Because Jesse
We-
cut in front of trying to hit the lever. So
Well, but I was next anyway. Kyle, I believe. If I'm not
Yeah, you
mistaken,
go.
mine was 10. I
Yeah,
think.
mine was 8.
okay,
All right. I don't like being stood over, so I'm just gonna shift over 1, which I do believe doesn't take me out of,
Yep.
his thing. So
Mhm.
there's no. And I'm gonna do a melee attack, which I'm not proficient in, so it's just a 19.
just the 19 hits.
Nice.
For 1 damage.
which is-
And that's not the guy in the cage. The other one, the one
Okay.
who's ropey, as he had
Okay,
so
um,
eloquently put.
that is enough to knock him out.
Yes, I got the
Yeah.
kill. I don't say that.
He falls up against the cage. The other guy's still shouting at all of you. He's like, "No, don't leave me in here. Please don't leave me in here." And you're
No, interrogate him.
now out of initiative as well.
What's it to you if we do leave you in here?
I mean, they'll kill me if you leave me in here. But I mean, chances are,
You'll kill us if you don't.
well, yeah. I mean, that's what they told us to do. But maybe we can make a deal.
Such as.
I can help you get out.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, I mean, I can. They'll be upstairs. I can tell them to come down, and you can ambush them or something.
We have no weapons. No way of doing that.
Okay, well, maybe we can sneak out together.
Why couldn't we just sneak out ourselves?
Well, I mean, you could, but you wouldn't leave me here, would you?
I'm
Maybe.
going to start rifling through the other guy's pocket.
Okay.
You said there's chests here, right?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
go through them also.
So that's your
That's my
Rifle-
pocket
your
rifle.
rifling through pocket check.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have anything, and neither of them seem to have anything. They're sort of in rags and tatters.
Good roll.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for opening the chest. I
Alright.
mean, the chest opens. In it, you find 1 light hammer,
1 light hammer. All right.
1 dagger,
I will pocket that.
a rope,
All right.
1 lockpick tool, and a potion of healing.
I will go ahead and drink the potion.
Okay. It's one. Is it 1d4 plus 4? Is that how much potions are?
Depends on the level.
It's the lowest level.
Yeah.
Then
2d4 plus 2. I did write it down somewhere. 2d4 plus 2, I think, is the lowest level.
Yeah, that sounds right. 5, so I'm back to full.
The guy in the cage is starting to get a bit concerned. He's starting to get worried. He's like, please take me with you. We can get out of here. I'll tell you what I know.
You can tell us what you know from the cage.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, we've been down here for quite a while. They don't really look after us. They all stay upstairs. They used, there's quite a few of them. They brought us down here. They said they'd pay us and take us in and let us join, but they just left us down here and looking after you lot.
What force of corruption is this they you speak?
They're the Crimson Lotus.
I am not aware of this faction.
Well, they're just a gang of guys trying to, they claim they're going to change the world, but they pay well. So, we decided we should earn some money while we can.
And what did they want with me?
I don't know. Who are you?
I'm the one asking the questions here. I'm wondering why I was taken in.
I have no idea. They just brought you down here.
you said they wanted to kill us. Why?
Why? I don't know. They brought you down here. They said to keep an eye on you, and then they told us to get rid of the girl, and now get rid of you.
The girl?
Yeah, the girl. And at that moment, you can see he looks. You see a little bit of he looks a bit of I guess sort of sorrow in his eyes, as he realizes that a situation that maybe he was in charge of, that didn't really pose any threat a few moments ago, has turned a bit sour. As he says to the girl, he looks out of the doorway.
So he looks that direction.
Yeah, that's the only way in and out of the room.
All right.
I'm done here, and I'm starting to make my way.
No, don't leave me.
I also turn and kind of start making my way that way.
Same.
Okay. He's obviously desperate. He's shouting, please don't leave me. I mean, I haven't got anything to offer, but I'm sure between us we can get out of here.
I'm sure your friend will wake up eventually.
Okay. So I mean, he's obviously at the back of the room begging for forgiveness, begging for a way out. You guys approach the room, and as you do, you sort of who's first? Who's approaching the doorway first? It's not really a door. I mean, it's an open entrance to this sort of cylindrical room. In front of you, you see another pathway that just literally leads straight down here. The room in front of you at the end of the corridor, you can see outside of the door is just a huge cylinder that goes up maybe 100, 200 foot. It's this massive silo, essentially, built of stone. The pathway either side of you has no edges. As you sort of look, you can see that it goes down a long way, but it just disappears into darkness from the angle you're looking at. You can't really see a lot in the room at the end. You can just see this large cylinder. The light coming from this room is helping a little bit. There's a little bit of light in the room at the end. You can see another one of the pillars, but you can't really see a great deal more.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
I'm kind of waiting for 25 because he was going to start walking.
I go through.
Okay. As you roll me some perception as you take a
I guess Jesse, I don't know his character yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get to it.
17 total.
Okay. As you look over the edge, you see a long way down to maybe 50-foot drop off the edge. What you do see are some large slimes, and in one of them, you see a lifeless female, eyes looking back up. Obviously, the lady that they were talking about, clearly been thrown off the edge of this platform and then devoured by one of the slimes.
So she's no more.
She doesn't look good. There's not a lot of movement there. As you approach this room, your eyes sort of adjust to the light. There is a little bit of light in this room.
Mm-hmm.
What did you roll? You rolled a 17.
17 total. I do have superior dark vision.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it lights it up a little bit, and what you do see is a large cylindrical room that goes up 100 foot or so. In the room, you notice hundreds of eggs.
Oh God, we're an alien.
Covered in webbing. Some of them, from where you're standing, it looks like they're moving. It looks like there's sort of a pulsating movement to some of them. To your right, you notice a large oak door. To your left, behind some of sort of the eggs and the webbing, you can see the top of a sort of a crate or a chest. As you look up, you also notice some kind of movement up above you. It looks large.
All right. I'm going to kind of slowly and as stealthily as possible, being mindful of the eggs, I want to make my way over to the chest.
Okay, or
whatever it is.
Roll me some stealth.
All right.
What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing can go wrong. 19 total.
Okay. I mean, it's less about, you feel like it's less about making noise, but you're very, very careful of where you're putting your feet, avoiding all of the eggs and making it over to the chest.
Yeah, exactly. I've been around. I don't want to disturb them because Mama would not be happy.
Okay. As you open the chest, you find a short bow with
Very
10
nice.
arrows and some leather armor.
I am taking all of that and keeping it for myself.
Okay.
And
anyone else doing anything? You staying where you are? You?
Yeah, I go back to the guy that's in the cage and I ask what all the eggs are.
Oh, that's her. There's a spider. There's a giant spider. Please don't leave me down here with it.
Then why did you throw the girl into a slime?
They said that we had time before anything happened down here, and that we were due to move, and not to worry about it. But some of those eggs have been moving, and she leaves us alone as long as we leave her alone. But I get the feeling that's changing.
I agree. It looks like she's having 2 meals tonight, and I turn back around and go over by Ignis, or the person I don't know.
Please don't leave me down here.
I look over to Jordan's character and say, I don't know about you, but I do not like spiders. Especially whatever the mama is or however big she's going to be.
And that's kind of shrug. I had to try all the character tropes. Last time was me getting to try the goofy character. This time I get to try the broody character.
Oh God, we have 2 broody
Yeah,
characters.
2 broodies. Or the 2D broodies.
What makes you think you've only got 2?
That's fair.
True.
Okay, what's happening?
Well, if no one else is doing anything, I'm gonna make my way to the.
Okay.
I believe you said it's down this way.
Yeah, it's a large oak door.
Does it open?
I mean, I'm sure it does.
I mean,
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a door.
That's true.
Yep.
Do you want
Then it's just a wall.
Are you trying it?
I'm trying it.
Okay, it's locked.
Can I? I'm gonna use the tip of one of the arrows to try to pick the lock.
Okay.
I would just use the hammer that Ignis got.
Well, I don't know that he has that or anything. He
Or-
didn't announce that he got any
Yeah.
lock-picking tools or anything of that nature. So I'm using what I have currently.
Okay, roll
You
me.
saw him go over the chest and then chug a potion.
Roll me. Sleight of hand with disadvantage.
All right. Uh, 11 is my disadvantage.
Okay, you've seen people do this before.
Mhm.
You bend down, you get on your knees, you're trying to find. I guess you're trying to find a way in the keyhole of getting the arrowhead in. Or
Yeah.
The side of the door. You try. You can't really quite get it in far enough to find any kind of purchase.
If I had $1, let me
A
tell
regular
you.
issue. Yeah.
And at that point, can everybody roll me some initiative, please?
Oh God. 6 total. Lovely.
Got a 9 total. Nice.
I got a 20.
So Jordan, Kyle, Jesse. Okay. Jesse, you're the one who noticed the movement up above you. You look back up, obviously a little bit paranoid that something's up there, and the fact that you're surrounded by webbing and eggs is giving you a good indication that there might be a spider up there.
Right.
As you look out of the darkness, you see a large, spindly, glossy black leg protrude out of the darkness, followed by another leg, and then some mandibles and 8 eyes glaring down. You feel like even though you've been as quiet as you can be, the sense of something else is present, and it's starting to just maybe eye up what's happening, especially with the eggs down in this location. Jordan, you'll go.
Okay, so where exactly is this creature at?
Up above, about 100 or so foot up above you. Not up above you, up above Jesse in this cylindrical room.
Oh, okay, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He has a bow.
Yeah, I do.
So do I,
mean,
even? So I know
this-
this creature's there, correct?
You know that he's told you that the other person told you there was a spider,
Okay.
and that it was a large spider. That's as much as you know. I mean, I don't think 25 has given any indication that there's anything going on, anything else going on.
Okay. I mean, I don't even have any weapons or anything, so I'm just kind of, I guess, chilling, keeping my distance from everything.
Okay.
So, like, obviously, I don't want to go in the egg room until I know it's all clear,
Okay.
and until 25 kind of lets us know that or what's going on.
I mean, you can hold your action if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hold my action.
Okay. Until
Um.
something happens.
Well, no, not necessarily something. If something drops down on Jesse, that's his
Okay.
fault. But if it like tries to attack me or something, then I'm gonna defend
Okay.
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if it also tries to run back to go after these two, I'll try and help as well. The two
Okay.
randoms.
Ignis, what are you doing?
I'm gonna look over to Jordan's character and show him the light hammer and ask if he knows how to use one of these.
I'll give it a swing and I grab it.
Sure. I hand it to him.
I just kind of don't even second guess. I don't just kind of reach and grab it.
Okay.
No thank yous, muttered.
Anything else?
I
We'll
put
say
on
that was just
sunglasses.
we'll say that was just an interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move. Sure.
So what type of
Yeah.
hammer is this? Is this like a weapon hammer or
light-
is this like a tool?
Yeah, no, like a proper light weapon hammer does 1d6. Oh no, it doesn't. Hold on. Does
Is it just like a throwing hammer? Or is it a-
1d4 bludgeoning
Oh.
damage.
So nothing changes.
No.
Yeah.
But at least you've got. A
Well,
hammer.
you could.
You
if
can add your
you're-
strength to it.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
add your
Yeah.
strength.
Oh yeah, that's true. I got my and my.
Because
Yeah,
you're probably
all my specials.
proficient.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
possibly.
And then I'm gonna
Do you want to roll me some perception as you just walked into the room?
yeah.
Okay.
That is gonna
Okay, so
be
you-
12.
I mean, you spot the eggs. You see the eggs are there.
Yeah.
You also you get the sense that there's movement, but you can't quite make out what it is at that kind of distance in the darkness. Even with sort of low light vision, you can't quite make out. But you get the feeling that something is above you.
Although I think I might be able to see because I have dark vision.
Yeah, even with that, it's just you can't quite you can make out a shape, but
Right.
you wouldn't be able to say what it was. You just know that something's up there.
Sure. And then yeah, I guess that's gonna be my turn.
Okay. So I mean, you haven't had your action. Do you want to hold it or?
What? Yeah, I might want to hold it until I see the spider.
Okay.
Let me just check something real quick.
Jesse, you're up next, buddy.
So, right. So, does it look like the spider is coming down at us?
It looks like it's getting ready to start moving, or at least it's getting into a position where it could do that. You get the feeling that it's sense movement below itself and is getting into a position where it can actually size up what's going on.
Right.
The fact that the leg sort of starts spinning. It's also quite awkward because of the size of it and because of where the pillars are. You can see sort of its legs are at an odd angle because of the way it's sort of staying where it is. So there isn't a quite enough room in this chamber for it to sit comfortably in a location.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing you do sense is that it's very big. Just from the size of the legs and the mandibles, you know that this is a giant spider.
Right. No, I've being from the Underdark, I have plenty of experience with spiders.
You do?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna kind of draw the attention of those two, point upward and motion, do a spidery motion with my hand, point upwards, and then
He wants us to climb on the ceiling.
yes, cast spider climb and go climb up there. I'm gonna.
Do you want to roll me some perception or investigation of the door as well, just to
Sure. Yeah. Do I get to
mean,
choose between the two?
yeah,
Actually, they're the same anyway. So.
choose which one you like then.
13 total.
Okay. I mean, the door is a door. It doesn't look like the sturdiest door in the world. You get the feeling that enough pressure or force would open it. You also get the feeling that someone skilled or able to lockpick with the appropriate tool or item or something suitable to fit in the keyhole would also work.
Right. Not an arrowhead.
Probably not an arrowhead.
I'm gonna kind of not shout over to them, but kind of like, not whisper either, just kind of quietly mention to them that we need to get the fuck out of here now.
Okay.
If anyone wants to try the door or something. You strong guy over there, you look like you might be able to bust it down, or if anyone has anything to.
Which one are you talking to?
You look pretty strong.
I doubt that. I think I have a pretty frail frame, to be completely honest with you.
So as you try and motion that to them, you sense some movement, some more movement, as the
Okay, I'm
rest
gonna
of
look
this.
back up then.
Yeah, as the rest of this spider's frame comes into vision, and it starts to slowly make its way down towards the
Lovely.
bottom of the chamber. It moves maybe about 20 or so foot, maybe 25 foot. So it's around 75 or so feet away, but it's now the size of this spider is becoming apparent. You know, the shape of this spider, bearing in mind that this is quite a large door that you're in front of, it looks like it would be a struggle for it to fit through this door.
All right, then I'm just gonna try and shoulder the door open, I guess.
Okay. Roll me. I mean, I'm going to say you hit the door automatically.
Right.
Roll me some damage.
Just flat out
1d4.
1d4.
Yeah, 1d4.
2.
Okay. You sense a bit of movement. You know where the lock is sitting in the joint. It's, you know, there's a bit of movement anyway, but you feel like you've maybe moved it slightly, not a huge amount, but you feel like, you know, there's something there.
Gotcha.
Okay. Jordan, we're back to you.
All right. So yeah, I see the motion thing. Do I see the spider now, or do I need to roll for it? Or...
No, it's still from where you're standing and where the door frame is. You're not, or the archway for the door. You're not able to see it. It's still 60,
right.
70 foot above you.
Did I understand what he was trying to charades to me?
It kind of went from Jesse then to me, so
I guess that's you figuring out whether you understood what he was trying to charade to you, rather than, you know, I mean, you could roll.
I mean,
for
if
it
somebody
if you wanted,
pointed
but...
up and did the universal spider crawling thing, I'd have an idea.
And I think the fact that someone said spider and there's some eggs in front of you is probably giving you enough to go on.
I kind of sigh, go back here. I tell him we have company. So stay behind me. If you're trying to betray us, you're gonna have more to worry about than a spider. And I pull the lever.
Okay.
And tell him to drag his friend with him.
Okay, so the door opens, the cage opens, sorry, or the cells go up, and he jumps out. He grabs hold of his friend, who's still pretty much unconscious. He's picking him up at this point and putting him on his shoulder, more or less, and starts hightailing it towards the walkway.
Okay.
So they get to out here.
Okay.
You moving any further? Are you staying where you are? Did you?
I can't move any further. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that was just an interaction, so you could continue to move as an action the rest of your move, or
can I? Okay.
Well, you know, if you're not going to take an
like
action
a
as
sprint?
such, yeah, you could dash.
Yeah.
Is that double or is it half?
Double.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
welcome back.
So is am I the only one that's not seeing Kyle's webcam working?
Yeah.
I just see a picture of the Chibi Kai logo.
Yeah, nice.
I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle, you're up.
Right. I am going to go ahead and move over towards the door.
Okay.
Gonna try and lockpick it. A lockpick.
Are you proficient with lockpicking tools, thieves' tools?
Nope.
Okay. Roll me at a disadvantage. Again, you've kind of seen these sorts of tools. You've never really seen anyone use them.
Right.
So you're going a bit from sort of your initiative of attempting this.
Oh, lovely.
No.
No. So I mean, you get the tools in the keyhole.
Yeah.
It's a step above mine.
You wiggle it around a bit, you know, and you look up at 25, like you've got this, and then nothing happens.
It's like I hear the clicks, and then is it that I realize that I broke the lockpick?
Yeah, I mean that you haven't got to that point.
All right.
But you're essentially just wiggling a piece of metal in a keyhole.
Right.
I'm
just gonna
back to you. Oh, yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it go, and then I'm going to I guess get ready for when the spider actually drops.
Okay.
So, did you leave the lockpick in?
Yeah, it's
lock,
in there.
Or... All right. Well, let's try to pick some locks. Why not? So I'm not proficient,
Okay.
but I do have sleight of hand.
What are you gonna pickpocket the door?
6 at disadvantage.
I mean, you look at Ignis like you've definitely got this.
I
do.
do.
You know that you've got sleight of hand. You've got the ability to do this, and then essentially you wiggle it around in the keyhole as well with nothing happening. At that point, the spider starts to make its way down further. It continues to head down. It doesn't look like it's making a beeline for you. It's certainly sizing up the scenario, and
Right.
is encroaching into what you lot would deem as your space. It's maybe about 40 or so foot away, 45 foot away, sort of just on the peripheral of if it wanted to do something, it could. And you can see how you see these massive mandibles staring down at you. You can see these eyes glaring at you. You know, that moment when you see a spider and it doesn't move, it just sort of stays rigid. It's ready if it needs to be, I think.
Scott wrote this entire story to be a
Right.
therapy for his fear of spiders.
I'm now looking around the room in case there's one in here. I'm going to run out.
Right.
Jordan, back to you.
All right. I'm moving a little bit further.
Okay.
Do I need to like anything?
Sorry?
Do I need to do anything to make sure I avoid
can-
the eggs? Or...
No, you can if you want to have a look round, you can roll me a perception. If you want to just
I'm
carry
just
on
trying to go
hightailing
around.
it, then.
And then I guess I use the rest of my movement to get over here with these guys with the rest of the 6.
Okay.
And I guess because that would be my action, I can't help with the lock or anything, can I?
No, you're there for moral support.
Yeah, I don't provide any, but I do stand there.
These guys run as quickly as they can, obviously realizing there's not as much room, and they're desperately looking up at this.
So
at
I
this
look
spider.
over to them and ask them how they expected to leave because I see the door is now locked and those guys had none on them, including I guess a key.
No, they don't have anything on them. They're not really paying much attention to what you're saying, looking dead into the eyes of this massive spider that's above you.
I just kind of glance at it and then glance back down and continue asking them.
Yeah. Ignis, back to you. I mean, they're not interested in what they're almost oblivious to what you're saying.
Right.
You know, they are in a panic that they want to get out of this room.
Even the guy that's knocked unconscious.
Well, he's not so much in a panic, but
His friend is
roll me-
panicking for the both of them. Scott,
Ignis, roll me some perception, please.
how high is the spider now?
Still about 45, 50
Jesse
foot
level
away.
high.
All right.
Hey now.
You said perception?
Yeah, please.
All right. That'd be a decent modifier in that.
Okay, you notice that some of these eggs are starting to crack. You know, and a number of them, not all of them, but you know, if there's hundreds of eggs in here, maybe a good 20% or so are starting to crack around the sort of shelling, and the something is happening.
I'm gonna say, guys, I think that some of the eggs are hatching.
Okay.
And then
The geezer carrying the other fellow is like, "We got to get out of here. Please, just get us out of here."
Ransom, well, do you guys have a key?
No, if we had a key, we'd be using it. You get the feeling from these two that it's certainly more than they signed up for.
Yeah. I want to try something. I just need to see what the spell does real quick. I want to cast Firebolt on the door handle, or like the lock.
Okay.
Or the wooden door.
Yeah, well, the lock and handle part of it.
Okay, I mean, we'll say you're standing right beside it. You don't have to
Right.
make a ranged spell attack. Just roll me some damage for it.
All right, cool. That is D10 plus my modifier. All right. Nice. 14 damage.
But I mean, the door takes a licking. It doesn't quite free it up, but it's hanging on in there. You know, you think that one more strike of this door and it's going flying. You know, as long as you get a good purchase on it. However, the handle does look very hot.
Yes, I wouldn't touch that now.
Jesse, you're up.
All right, let's shoulder check that door.
Okay.
Show me what's behind door number.
Full-blown shoulder barge.
Well,
Yeah.
so Jesse goes after Kyle again now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of confused me, isn't it, Cain?
I've got Jordan was first, then Kyle, then Jesse.
Oh. All right, the
Okay.
order changed. I forgot because of...
Yeah, we re-rolled.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, this is the second one. Yes, so you're going to run up and shoulder charge it.
Yes, sir. 4
Full-blown,
damage.
bone shoulder charge.
Hell yeah.
Okay, as you smack the door
Nice.
comes flying off its hinges. As it does, you notice that you literally fall flat into a staircase leading upwards, a stone staircase. Again, this is another walkway with no sides. And you can see sort of over to the edge, you see just a huge drop as the door flies off the staircase and starts tumbling downwards into the shadows. You hear, after maybe almost a second or so, you hear the thud of the door hitting some stone below. There's a stairway leading up to another room. This one you can only see into the sort of the ceiling with the angle, especially laying on the stairs with the angle upwards. You can see another stone room. You can see lots of light coming from it, but that's about it because of the angle you're at.
Well, let's fucking go.
Okay. So you're gonna head up towards the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody's still in initiative at this point. Okay, so do you want to move up?
Hey, I see Kyle now.
Yeah,
I reconnected.
Okay, so you make it to the top of the stairs. Roll me some perception when you get to the top.
That I can do. 20 total. Not
Okay.
natty.
So in front of you, when you get to the top of the stairs, you notice stairs are maybe, though they don't look it on this map, they're maybe sort of 25, 30 foot up to the next floor, and it's quite a climb. It's a reasonable distance up, maybe 20 foot or so. It's quite a steep incline of stairs. And when you get there, you notice a large table in front of you covered in leftovers. You see on the opposite side of a room a couple more tables that are that hold like sort of tools, just general tools, blacksmithing tools, carpentry tools. On one, you spot a set of keys. Over to your left, the left side of the room, you see a partition wall with more light coming from behind it. You can't quite make out what's behind there, but there's a partition wall, sort of wooden wall up. And over to your right is another cage. This one with a female inside. She looks scared. She looks tired. She looks weary. Beside that cage, there's another set of stairs leading upwards. No one appears to be in the area that you can see.
Okay, the cage, is it the same sort of like drop
Similar
down
sort of cage,
thing?
yeah. This one looks like it's been bolted to the floor.
And so that I'm guessing there's a lock. There's like a door. And
Yeah, I mean, have you gone into the room? Are you still on the stairs? What are you doing?
how much of a distance is there?
Is it to get to the sort of just into the room is probably about 30 foot.
Then I can only just get into
Just
the room.
about. So you step into the room. At that moment, the female sees you and she's like, please get me out here before they come back. The keys are on the keys are on the table. Hurry. And I guess that's pretty much the end of your
That would be
action.
the end of my turn. I just kind of go.
Okay. So just to be clear, Jesse, then Jordan, then Kyle is the order. But
Okay.
between Jordan and Kyle are the two.
So it's my go then.
Yep.
All right. I also walk into the room. Yeah, and I guess I see this lady. Okay, so this lady is not the same one that we saw on the slime. Yeah.
No. So she's
I would hope not.
she's a dead lady
Yeah.
in the slime. This is another female.
I'm just making sure it's not like it doesn't look like the same person because I know how D&D works.
It doesn't look like the same person. However, I mean, you didn't really see the body other than there was a body. It's so far away, you could see that there was a body. That was about it.
All right. I ask who she is and why she's in here.
Keys are over on this table. She's like, me and my sisters were stopped by these men and they brought us in here. They took one of them downstairs with you. Is she all right? Where is she?
If she's not the spider, she's dead.
What? What do you mean she's dead?
I just leave it at that.
Okay.
I don't even tell her anymore. I'm still waiting for her to answer my questions.
She's like, please get me out of here.
How can we trust you?
I'm in a cage.
Yes. So
Why
are they, and I point back to our prisoners.
Well, they kidnapped us. They took all our furs, all our gold, and now we're here. And now you're telling me they've killed my sister.
Yeah. So what did you guys do to deserve this?
Nothing. They just stopped us on our way home.
And I just kind of disacknowledge her after that and let 25, or I guess Jesse's character, who I still don't know, make the judgment call on what he's going to do.
Okay. These guys panicking.
Yeah.
Do their very best to get towards the stairs. This fella's starting to get a bit tired carrying his mate. And he gets maybe sort of up to the top of the stairs, but that's kind of his whole movement. He can't get any further than that.
While he's there, am I able to ask him, like if they realized that they were basically spider bait because they were locked in that room as well?
No, they told us that we needed to do this to join the group, and then they, we just thought we were going to be allowed in. Then they started locking us down here and making us do the rubbish jobs.
Well, the spider's back and your friends are gone, so I'm assuming that you were food.
I think it's starting to hit on to sort of dawn on him that he's maybe been lulled into this situation. However, he's also still quite panicked, and you can tell that he's getting a bit fed up of carrying his mate.
Just make sure you get past the top step before you put him down.
Yeah.
Or Ignis is going to have a sled trip him.
Ignis, you'll go.
Right. Gonna move up to the top.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'd hope give them a little push while you're at it.
Push down the stairs.
All right, I'm gonna
Okay,
go.
so you get to the top stairs. You
Yeah.
didn't do anything.
I
mean,
yeah, I'm gonna.
Walk over to the lady and stick his wiener between the bars.
Glory cell.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say, oh, great, lady, it's great to actually see a good-looking face around here.
Okay, she looks more worried than anything else.
Yeah.
You're not sure if it's because of you hitting on her at this time, or because she's just genuinely quite concerned and found out her sister's just died.
Yeah. Would I have heard her talk about the key at all?
You'd have probably you were I mean you were a good 40 or so foot away, 30 foot away. So she did shout it. You might have just picked up on it. Roll me some perception, I guess.
All right.
We'll see if you did manage to pick up on it.
I mean, it was a lady who was screaming it, so.
Okay. You heard her say there's keys on the table. I mean, you didn't necessarily see which table.
Right.
And there's 3 of them sort of in this room. Do you want to do anything, or is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna move.
Okay, so you're gonna take a double move.
Yeah. Move to that table just because it's the closest.
Okay. Yeah, and right in front of you are a bunch of 5 keys.
I thought the table you just passed was the closest.
That had food on it. I would.
Yeah, he could sense they went on there. You know, he had a look and couldn't see any of them.
That's where I'd hide it. I'd hide it under a plate.
Yeah, there's a bunch of keys. There's 5 of them, all of them looking identical.
Right, I'm gonna grab them all.
Okay.
And then gonna move.
So bear in mind this was 30 foot just to get up this way as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all your movement?
Yep.
Okay.
Move there, grab the keys, and then.
Jesse, at this point, you sense behind you more movement. This time, a bit more of a frenzy of movement. You hear clearly the sounds of lots of small feet on stone. You also sense that the larger presence, because of a shadow forming in the sort of the doorway, you sense that larger presence has also headed its way down towards the floor. As you look back, you start to see a flood of smaller, glossy black creatures heading out of that door, heading down the sides of the cylinder, sort of heading upwards, and then you see a large leg slowly exit that doorway.
Do we have anything just like rolled on the steps?
So like towards us, up
Towards
the
you,
stairway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Push that table down the stairs.
That table? Sure. I'm gonna.
I mean, do you have things that are right at the front of the stairs to push down as well?
Yeah. No. I know. Those guys are going down.
You can just honestly you can just pull them to the side if you wanted.
No, they're going down. I kick.
Do a 300 kick.
Well, no, just kind of push with my foot. Really, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll me an attack. He's obviously hindered in defense because he's got someone over his shoulder.
I'm guessing I'm not proficient in 300 kick. Be a straight D20.
We'll say you've got advantage.
Advantage, nice.
Because he's carrying someone.
10 total.
Okay. That hits. Roll me some damage.
Nice. 2.
Okay. That is enough to make the one holding the other one lose his balance. As you do, the unconscious one falls to the stairs and then falls off the side of the stairs, hurtling down into the darkness. The other one tumbles a little way back down the stairs towards the bottom of the stairs. He's about halfway down. Clearly very, very concerned about what just happened. Not only the fact that he dropped his friend who is clearly making his way down towards his death, but sensing how much movement is coming from the bottom of those stairs. At that point, you hear a thud.
Good. I'm booking it this way.
Are you going to close the door?
There is no door.
There's no
no door.
The door came flying off its hinges.
Yeah. Okay, there wasn't a second door up top.
There's no door up on this one, no.
Right.
And that's my movement. That's my entire turn.
Okay, Jordan, back to you.
Well, he's obviously a murderer that can't be trusted, so I want to attack 25.
Okay.
So this is what Scott meant when we might all die in the beginning.
Well, I mean, he did just murder an innocent person, as far as we know.
True.
I mean,
Although they
innocent
did
being subjective here,
Yeah.
but they're still.
Self-preservation, my friend.
My thought exactly. That's why I'm going to put a hammer in the back of his head.
Just before you do that as well, Jordan, roll me some perception. Okay, you obviously witnessing that and seeing the man fall down the stairs. You hear his screams and panic, but you also hear the sound of sort of spider feet, spider legs on stone. You know, that horrible sort of scratching type noise as it's making contact with the stone.
So I should throw 25 down the stairs.
Do whatever you should do whatever you deem is necessary.
See, the problem is it's Scott's story, and I don't want to mess it up by going and killing Jesse.
I mean,
being
just
a
say
buster.
non-lethal. Just say non-lethal.
Just shout it
At
as
this
you
moment in
put a
time-
hammer.
At this
Back
moment in time,
my head.
you can do whatever you like.
So
You know,
is the other
do-
guy being attacked by the spiders, the guy that fell down
No,
the stairs?
the one who's downstairs is about halfway down the stairs. You know, he's laying prone. He
How close are the old spooters to him?
sorry.
How close are the old spooters to him?
So the stairs are about 30 foot. The spiders are at the one doorway, sort of flooding out of that. He's about halfway down the stairs. You're at the top of the stairs, so about 15 foot from you, and they're about 15 foot from him.
And the first guy is down in the spiders right now.
No, the first guy fell to his, you assume, death.
Fell off the side. He's
Maybe
But I'm
about
saying,
a-
isn't that down where the spiders are, or is that?
They sort of
lower
no. So
than-
the spiders sort of flooding out of this room.
up the stairs.
Up towards you guys, but they're also flowing out sort of sideways. They're just, you can sense that they're baby spiders. They're exploring their surroundings, you know, and they're sort of bursting in every direction out this doorway.
I see.
This fella down here fell down maybe 100 foot into the darkness. Jesse heard a thud. It doesn't sound good for him. This guy, I'm going to put him here, is about 15 foot from the top of the stairs, 15 foot from the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Well,
and-
because we can't see it because it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's blacked out.
black.
Oh, is it? Sorry. Hold on. Is that
Oh.
better?
Up there.
Yeah.
Does that,
Okay.
does that help? Sorry.
Yeah. It does.
I didn't realize I didn't realize that was blacked out. And also you sent some.
Oh man.
I don't know if you can see these or not.
The spiders, yeah.
The spiders.
So they're sort of heading out of the doorway right about now.
There's the spiders for the viewers.
Yeah. So they're slowly making its way. Along with this, at the moment you can see a large leg protruding from the door.
I assume I don't have any phosphorant moss laying around here, or a
roll me-
firefly.
Roll me investigate. No, you haven't. No, you haven't got any.
Those things aren't in here. Okay. Well, then I guess I'm not able to do that. Well, I'm probably gonna die, but I go down the stairs after the other dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what
not
do
too
you
worried
do-
about the baby spiders. They're just
What
kind of
do you
being
do?
cute.
What do you do when you get there?
Push them for no. I
Hey.
I mean, I'm gonna have to help the dude up, right? I have to,
Okay.
yeah, to help him to his feet and start trying to push him
Yeah,
further.
I'd say you could get back to the top of the stairs with him if that's what your plan was.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. So we'll say that was action and movement to get back to the very top of the, sort of just into the inside of the room, about here.
Okay.
But we'll also say you've got a bonus action if you want to use it. He's looking pretty.
Kick him down again.
He's looking
I got
pretty
you,
hard.
man.
I use healing hands on him.
Okay.
I don't know
What
if
was
that does something else. So you can touch a creature equal to regain a number of HP equal to your level. So he gets a whole one.
I mean, he's looking pretty rough still.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, on his turn,
Mhm.
he just hightails it across here, flying past the table, past the chairs, getting towards the
Oh, I was
stairway.
going to give him my hammer, point at Jesse, and then wink, but okay.
No, he's just running. He's so worried for his life. He's running. He wants to get as far away from that doorway as possible. At that point, you see the rest, Jordan, you especially standing at the top of the stairs looking back down, you see the rest of the spider. And it's a real squeeze for this spider to get out of the doorway. You know, it's so tight, but you see it manage to sort of somehow contort its body. The bulbous sort of back of the spider just sort of squeezes through the door. The giant spider gets pretty much halfway up the stairs. The rest of the flood of spiders starts to flood up to the top of the stairs as well.
Now
They
they're
don't-
just curious.
Yeah, they don't seem to be making an attack, but they are getting into a range where if they wanted to, they could attack you. That's when you sense that even more of them start to appear. You know, what were manageable numbers now seem to be growing into a wave of
Mhm.
of spiders. You know, rather than being one or two, we're talking sort of swarm territory of spiders, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Okay, Kyle, you're up. Lady is
Right.
in the cell. Is obviously, she's sort of hands on the cell. She's screaming at you to help her out.
Yeah.
She's obviously sensing that something's coming from. She can hear the scurrying noise, seeing the fear, especially in this other guy's eyes as he bolted to the top of the doorway.
Right, I'm gonna run over and start trying keys.
Okay, roll me a D100.
E100. All right.
You have to get number 37 to use the proper key.
37
crap.
in a row?
Well, you got 58.
Yeah, 58. I accidentally
the-
added a +1.
You get the first key in, you turn it, you're trying to force it. She's obviously sort of urging you to hurry up. Doesn't
As they do.
She's urging you to finish. Doesn't unlock it. We'll say that this can be about, you know, using a key in a lock can be a bonus action as well.
All right.
So roll me another if you want to try it again.
Yup. 11.
Okay, you put the second key in, turn it. You know you're struggling. You don't feel like you've quite got the key in the lock, but you're turning it. You compose yourself a little bit, and you slowly turn the key as the door unlocks.
Ooh, it unlocks. All right.
At that moment in time, she sort of pushes the door as hard as she can to get out, pushing you backwards. She wants to get out of this cell, and she sort of pushes the door open and is ready to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab her and move as well,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I believe I can with her. I should be able to move like I think like one step up.
Yeah, I
something.
think you could probably get towards the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
These stairs look like they go up a reasonable distance. There and maybe another 30, 40 foot of stair going upwards. What you can see when you get to these stairs is some daylight.
Nice. I'm gonna yell down. I see daylight.
Okay. Bear with.
Yep.
Okay. 25, your turn.
I'm headed up these stairs.
Okay. So you're going to move
Oh,
to
nothing to do with any of this spider shenanigans.
So you're heading up to the top of the stair?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
blacked out for us, by the way.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you're heading up. I guess you're going to sort of wait when you get to the top of the stairs?
Sure.
Okay. Roll me a perception.
5 total.
Okay.
You look back down the stairs.
You see daylight. Your eyes are struggling to focus a little bit. What you do, you smell the natural smell of the forest. You smell a fire. You know, you as your eyes are beginning to focus, you see the outlines of shapes, but becoming from the darkness into the bright sort of light. It's struggling a little bit. You notice 3 figures standing in front of you. You can't quite make out who they are. They don't seem to have noticed you. But there's certainly 3 humanoid shapes in front of you. Looks like they're standing by a campfire.
Okay.
Okay.
Scott, would you like to take a break at this point? It's been like hour and a half.
Yeah, we'll just finish this little bit, and then we will. Jordan, your turn.
All right. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess I get on the steps as well. 6. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to use Divine Sense, which is it's an action I know, or I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of me.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of using that to see if anybody in the party or the dude that's with us or something hidden around here, or I guess even those 3 people or the lady are a celestial, a fiend, or an undead, or anything like that.
No, I don't believe so. You slowly cast that spell. You're sensing for anything around you. You don't sense any fiends, any celestial beings.
Okay. So the sex fiend in our party also doesn't
That,
pop
doesn't
into the
quite-
radar.
that doesn't quite shine through.
Okay.
I mean, you get the feeling, but it's not necessarily a sense that that's the case.
Okay.
I'm just checking to make sure, but
Yeah, I am too, because I think Jordan's meter is going haywire.
yeah, you don't sense any of those things.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Mhm.
Huh.
You do sense a fuck off great big spider though. Okay, so everybody sort of makes their way to the top of the stairs. And that's where we'll take a break.
Alrighty.
All right. That was odd. On OBS, a desktop and mic was muted, but I just unmuted it, so the viewers just lost like a minute.
Okay, so I just gave a quick recap. I'll do it again. You guys
Yeah.
managed to get your way to the top of the stairs. You're now in a opening area at the top. You're being pursued by maybe 100 to 200 spiders. You've got a couple of stragglers in tow, which I haven't got on the map. Thanks for that. You get to the top of the stairs. Who was it last? It was you, Jordan, wasn't it? You were the last to make it up the stairs. So you'd have used all of your movement to get there, I think. And did you dash?
No, I got to this onto pretty much the middle of the stair and then cast
Okay.
to see if there were any.
Okay,
fiend-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're sort of behind these guys on the stairs. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll move you back
Yeah, I'm
in.
probably like one of the back.
Yeah, you two. You're sort of at the back with the other random.
The
just gonna-
lady and the tramp back there.
I'm just going to come and grab from here if I can.
You think
Yeah.
roll 20 is that nice?
It's just stupid. Anyway, hopefully.
Yeah, Scott, just do a copy paste.
There he goes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so Kyle's sort of dragging this female along with him. You're at the back with this guy who looks pretty worse for wear. Okay, so it's
I healed him for 1 HP.
So helpful.
Kyle, it's your go. Roll me some perception when you get to the top of the stairs.
Sure. Let's not roll that D100.
I mean, you could.
There's a bunch of people out there pointing at each other.
Yeah. 7 total.
Okay. I mean, you notice sort of the opening to the cave as you get out there. You notice you're in a wooded sort of forest area. Large campfire in front of you. There's three humanoids standing around it. You make out the shape of a large orc who's sort of facing towards you. They haven't noticed you at this moment in time, but what you do notice is that their weapons seem to be on the floor beside them. They don't look like they're waiting or expecting anyone to be coming anywhere near them. They look quite relaxed around this fireplace. You also notice another female tied up to the left of you when you get to the top of the stairs. You sense that the lady beside you is worried for her and wants to get over there to help her.
All right. Does the other lady see us or no?
Let's have a check. Yeah, I mean, she spots you, and she's gagged, and her hands are tied behind her back, and her feet are tied together. But she spots you, and you can see the fear in her eyes, the panic in her eyes, but maybe a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Not after she meets Ignis.
I'm gonna put my hand up, like being like shh. I'm gonna.
Okay. She looks at you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna.
She blinks once for yes.
Right. I'm gonna try and
that's enough consent for it.
stealth over there.
He tells her she can keep the gag.
Roll some stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Jesse.
Okay, no. Not proficient in stealth, thought I was. Let's hope for a good roll.
Okay.
10.
Yeah, as you walk over there, particularly quietly in your mind, you know, there's no way these three are going to spot you. Turns out that as you get to the girl, the orc seems to be just staring in that direction. So where you thought you were being particularly stealthy, you've literally just walked into his line of vision. And at that moment, he sort of double takes for a second, shouts to his mates, and then turns and sees the rest of the group heading up the stairs. Everybody roll me some initiative.
Alrighty.
All right.
23.
Nice.
Ooh.
9.
15.
I hate the -1 dex, but I thought it worked for my characters story-wise.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're 15, Kyle.
Yep.
Okay. What did you get, Jordan? 10.
Yeah, so 9 total because I got -1 dex.
Okay. Okay, and these guys. Okay. Jesse, you're up.
All right, so can I get a little bit of a rundown of the guys? I know you said there's the
Yep.
guy.
So there's a large orc that's, you know, he's actually standing behind a goblin with his back to you, but he's huge. You can basically see his whole form behind this goblin. You know, he's not really, none of him is being covered by this goblin because of the height difference. You see that he's spotted you and he looks angry. You sense that he's making a move towards those weapons over to your right, to come and attack you. The other two, the goblin is standing, sort of a slight goblin. He's turned facing away, so you can't really see. You notice that he hasn't got any weapons on him. Doesn't look like he's got any armor on him. And then the guy to the left is a human. He's wearing some robes. They're all wearing red, essentially. And the orc is wearing some leather armor, and you can see embroidered right in the center is essentially what looks like a flower. Yeah, looks like a flower, sort of crimson red. Would you believe?
Wow, who'd guessed?
I would believe.
The geezer to the left, the human, is holding a quarterstaff.
All right. I'll take a shot with my bow at the human.
Okay.
This nice gentleman here.
The stereotypical wizard.
Yeah, exactly. 22.
That hits.
Awesome.
Nice, good hit.
8 damage.
Okay. he turns to look at you as the orc brings their attention
Mm-hmm.
to you. As he does, the arrow just pierces straight into his sort of his shoulder type area, knocking him, turning him sideways, to face all of you. He reaches at it to pull it out, and you can see it's blood starting to run down this red armor, this lighter shade of red running down this red robe.
Nice. And I'm that's right. There's stairs right. I'm gonna move just kind of out of the way, so like the walls behind me, not stairs.
Okay.
I don't want to back down into the.
Next up is this lady's turn. She's obviously really concerned about everything at this moment in time. She does her best to avoid everybody, but heads over towards her sister. She's crouching down, and you can see that she's starting to untie the ropes that are around her legs.
Awesome, human shield.
She's crouching down quite a way. I mean, she does look quite large in that picture. She's not as large as that makes out.
Keep in mind, I'm an elf.
Okay, she's large. Right, she's big bone.
Big bone.
She will be when Ignis is through.
Ignis, your go.
Right. I'm going to use my dagger to cut the rope on her.
Okay. So do you take the gag off her mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. She obviously sort of feeling a wrist, feeling a hand. She's standing herself up. She's getting ready to try and hightail it out of here.
I'm gonna tell her you're welcome. I'm gonna move.
She sort of, you can tell that she's thankful, but she's also sort of, her sister's fussing over her. She's worried. She's concerned about how they're going to get out of here.
Right. I'm going to cast a color spray at the human and the goblin.
Shut up, Jesse.
Oh.
I guess Scott can't see my reaction since
No, you disappeared.
yeah, as it does.
The dazzling ray of flashing color springs. Total. Must make
Oh, that's right. You lot spell color wrong.
We prefer color over
Yeah.
color.
I thought they had to make a saving throw.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. You roll a d6, the total number of how many hit points of creatures that spell can affect. Is that right? 6d10, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, I thought there was a saving throw, but I guess not.
No, I think it just blinds them, doesn't it? I think.
Well, it does that damage.
So it says you cast a d6, rolled d6 10. The total amount of hit points is the number of creatures it can affect. Creatures in a 15-foot cone, causing them to become blind of their current hit point order. I don't think it does any damage. I think it just
It just blinds them.
So if you
Does
say you get 20 hit points and the first person's got 15 hit points, you do, the first person becomes blinded, and the second person I don't think does. I think it needs to.
It has to,
cover his whole hit points.
So
Oh,
he can affect.
I totally
up to
misread that spell
35.
then.
Okay.
I need.
So
Yeah,
who
that sucks.
did you cast it on?
I thought the spell was gonna do damage. Like I
Blinding
thought,
is
like
good, though.
here's what I thought the spell did. So I rolled a 35, right?
Mhm.
So I'm guessing the human and goblin don't have 35 HP, right?
Mhm.
So it would take the lowest amount of HP, which I'm guessing might be the goblin.
Mhm.
It would subtract that 35 until the
Yeah.
goblin was dead, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
The
I see where you're
leftover,
going.
the
where
leftover
you're going
would
with
then
this.
go to the human.
Essentially, what you're saying is right. However, it doesn't do damage. It just makes them blind.
Yeah, that's what I thought the spell did.
That
Yeah.
would be OP.
Yeah.
So 35 points of damage means that the human not only bleeding profusely, is now blinded, as is the goblin.
He's seen better days.
Yeah.
He's used to see in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with third blinding, and Scott, I'll ask you if later I can change that spell because I thought
we'll have a chat about it.
I thought it did something completely
Cain,
different.
you're up.
Okay, so I guess we're just assuming
roll me
these guys
some
are evil.
perception first.
Me? Okay. My elven eyes see all.
Okay, you don't really spot anything.
Yeah, no. I was hit by Kyle's attack.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you see these coloured lights. You're like, oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Well, I rolled perception there, not like an attack. All right, so it's my go still.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, I guess
you've still got all your actions, your movement, everything. It was just
okay. I guess we're just still assuming that these guys are evil.
What you did sense when you saw them, that they looked intent to hurt.
Okay.
Not necessarily sense that they were evil, but
Well, it's good enough for me. Can I try and is that fire a physical thing here? And if so, can I try and hit the goblin into it with my hammer?
you certainly can.
Okay, good, because my hammer pretty much sucks. So I'm gonna try and do something with it. Woo. Good thing I suck.
You have advantage because you're blinded.
Do I? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's facing the other way.
One.
Other than that.
Okay. So that plus strength plus proficiency, yeah.
Yep, that hits.
So that's 15.
Yeah, that hits.
Cool. And
Nice.
1d4 for attack. 4.
Okay. You push him forward. Blinded, he has no idea what's going on. He trips over the stones in front of him and lands prone on the fire.
Nice.
You hear him start to scream. At that point, he looks like he's desperately trying to scramble to his feet to get out of the fire, but he takes a significant hit to his current condition.
Nice, Jordan. Did you add your strength to that damage?
Oh no, so 4 plus 3.
Okay, he lands on the fire, and you see him trying desperately to get out of the fire. However, you see the flames engulf him. The screams are there, and all of a sudden they sort of die out to a very burnt looking goblin.
Okay.
Does it smell tasty?
Hopefully enough for the spiders.
It smells a bit grim.
Because that's the plan, is feeding these little spiderlings. I look up to the orc and I give him a fair warning. I say, we got out, so you can imagine. There's about 4 billion spiders following us up that tunnel.
He snarls at you. At that point, actually, you hear screams from behind you.
Yeah, of course we do.
Yep.
Of
course.
As you turn to see the guy that you saved engulfed suddenly by spiders crawling all over him, dragging him back down the tunnel.
Good work, Ticklefoot.
At that point, also one spider comes running out, obviously seeing you, and comes running out, gets into the light, and then you hear a sort of an audible shriek as the sunlight hits it. And it turns and heads back into the cave.
So I need to ask, because I'm imagining the baby spiders being really.
They're a little bit bigger than that. I mean, bearing in mind they came from a
huge egg.
You're talking hand size.
Okay.
Not massive. You could quite easily tread on one.
Well, I was thinking they're like the size of like a little chihuahua. Maybe just about.
You could quite easily stamp on one. However, you wouldn't want to be engulfed in hundreds of them.
See, because that's what I'm saying. If they're just, like I said, imagining tiny little dots. So when he said one comes running out, I was like imagining a fleet.
No, this is like a proper hand. Imagine the Addams Family.
Oh, nice. Cousin
runs out as soon as
that's thing.
Cousin Ed, Cousin Ed's the
hairy thing. As soon as the sunlight hits it, it turns and it's back inside. And that's when the orc, seeing his goblin pal burn alive, seeing his other friend bleeding profusely and clearly affected by this spell. He runs over to the pile of weapons and grabs the largest axe that he could see. It doesn't look like there's an axe there, but there's an axe there. And he heads over. He heads over to you, and he's swinging this axe. You can see he's got anger. He's got so much resentment in his eyes from what he's just seen. He is swinging this axe at you with all of his might, Jordan. As you look at him, he swings the axe back as hard as he can and far as he can. And as he goes to bring it forward, you sense the anger, the resentment turn to shock, and then to pain as you watch an arrow burst through his back into his chest, covering you in blood. As he drops to his knees from this arrow that's just burst through his armor and through his body. At that moment, you spot a number of people emerging from the woods. If I can get them to emerge from the woods, a number of people emerging from the woods. One of them heads over. This guy here, I can't move him, but this guy here heads over. As soon as the orc drops to his knees, heads over, swings his sword, and decapitates the orc right in front of your face. You watch his head spiral, landing beside you as he just drops to the floor. Another arrow, a bolt this time, comes flying into the human, knocking him to the ground prone and dead. Man. These guys look pretty heavily armored, pretty prepared. They look like a group of mercenaries, you think, who are here for a reason. At that point, you're out of initiative.
Nice.
God,
everybody in this world is so racist that they assume orcs are evil.
It does happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I would have been like, "Oh my God, they're attacking that poor defenseless orc."
I mean, if that's what you want to think, then
to be fair,
you can stay in initiative if you want.
He's got a lotus on his chest.
Yeah, but what does that mean? That means he's peaceful.
Okay, so as you're all kind of gathering your senses as to what the hell just happened, none of you really know why you're here. None of you know how you got here. You know what you were doing leading up to the events of being here, but there's a spell which is pretty hazy, and the last however long few minutes, it felt like longer, but the last few minutes have been, you desperately trying to find your freedom from the confines of that cave. The two girls,
we had like bloody back of our heads too, didn't you? In your opening soliloquy.
You'd clearly been ambushed. Something had happened. As you're sort of gathering your senses, the two girls are sort of hugging each other. They're talking.
Yeah, they are.
One of them is saying she's gone. They're conversing. The leader of this band of men comes over. It's a rugged man with a strong jawline, longish grey hair, grey beard, wearing chain armor. It's sort of a light greyish color. He's got a crossbow draped over his shoulder. You sense he was the one who shot the mage down to the ground. He walks up to you.
Shot an arrow out of a crossbow.
A bolt out of his crossbow. He walks up to you, and he's before you even say a word, he goes, "These men are Crimson Lotus. You can tell by the insignia on their armor." You obviously had noticed already the crimson flower on the front of the armor. As you're standing there, he starts. His other companions come over and start picking up the bodies. So they're picking up the human. They look at the goblin, and then decide better of it. But they're dragging them off back to sort of where they came. Do any of you want to do anything? Or you?
Yeah.
Point to the cave and say there's a massive treasure trove. No, don't do that. I warned them about don't go in that cave. There's,
okay. So
100 spiders.
Okay, so the guy who decapitated the orc is a Goliath. He's a huge humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
You've sort of heard things of them, not necessarily seen. They're quite quite uncommon, especially if you're from the from the places you guys have come from. You see this man in front of you, call him over, and tell him to move one of the boulders into the way of the cave entrance. But at the time, they're still moving these bodies out towards the road, what you assume is the road following this path down. He goes on to say that he's been tasked by Datus Eldon, who some of you will know is the leader of the Council of Isra, to help tackle the actions of the Crimson Lotus.
Okay.
Um,
So is the Crimson Lotus something that like everybody knows about, or is this like a faction that we're just kind of hearing about the first time?
are you asking me or him?
I'm asking Scott.
Okay.
Like out of
you hadn't heard of him.
yeah, I'm kind of finding out like
Yeah.
about out of character stuff.
You hadn't necessarily heard of them. You probably heard in your day-to-day sort of scenarios leading up to this that there was a lot more bandit activity, but you hadn't necessarily heard of an umbrella maybe that they were under.
Okay.
Are you asking him?
Nope.
Okay.
Scott,
No, I wanted an idea of what my character knew about this world or in this particular
probably
event.
not that much other than there is bandit activity going on. These guys are the first time you've really heard them classed as the Crimson Lotus. The first time you've ever seen the armor, certainly. They from what you could see from looking at these people that just got taken care of, they didn't look like they were particularly untrained or anything. It's just that they were caught by surprise, obviously not having their weapons. They obviously felt that they were quite safe in the scenario and place that they were.
I see. Okay.
right.
So as you're talking, the Goliath starts moving one of these huge boulders into the way of the doorway. It doesn't cover it completely. There's still gaps, but it's certainly not big enough for a.
Are they fist-sized gaps?
Yeah, they are, but they're not big enough for a giant spider to pour out of.
Okay.
You
I
get the
just
feeling
know all
that
those
that's done the
babies will
job.
come out at nighttime.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend the time filling in the rest of the gaps if you wanted to.
Well, because then once they grow up, they'll be free around the world.
Okay, that's true. We should all take care of this right now.
DM should help.
Yeah.
In fact, all of the rocks are in the way of the cave. No.
Cave-in happens.
Yep.
The
Okay.
spiders die.
Probably.
What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna turn to the girls. I'm gonna
Okay.
say it was pleasure saving both of you. Kind of give them a little bow, and then I'm gonna say I take payment in gold or fun in the sheets. It's your choice, and give them a little wink.
Okay, they
They throw up.
they look a little bit disgusted. These two are obviously sisters.
Yeah.
They look a bit disgusted that you're attempting to hit on them whilst they've literally just found out, especially one of them has just found out that their sister has died. They don't really know the circumstances behind that either. The one who you saved from the cage turns and says, how did she die?
I was still unconscious, but when I woke up, she was in a pool of acid.
What?
There's tears streaming down their faces at this moment in time. The girl who was tied up outside stands up and says, thanks for she's talking to the wider group rather than just Ignis at this moment in time. You get the feeling that they're trying to distance themselves a little bit from him. They essentially say that they were trying to, or they were returning from selling levers in Inkini. Now, Inkini is a large city. It's not you don't really know where you are, but it's not a million miles away. You sort of knew you were in the area of Inkini when you were, the last thing you remember. They said that they were attacked and they were brought inside. They took her sisters downstairs. Two men were in the room downstairs, and they were talking to another man using magic. And that man mentioned Ulrock. At that point, Aidan Abelgrain, who's heading, sort of turning to head off, stops dead in his tracks. And he turns around and looks at you and says, if this is true, you should get this information to Data Seldin in Israel, where you know is the capital city of the land.
I see.
He goes on to say that Data Seldin has hired his group to help take care of the Crimson Lotus. Now, he says he doesn't really know much about the Crimson Lotus or care because the money's good, and that every bit of insignia or embroidered sort of armor that they return, they get paid for. Hence the reason why they're taking the bodies. He also goes on to say that if he was you should head away from here. He looks up as the sun is slowly getting towards the end of its cycle. You can see that you've maybe got an hour or two of daylight left. And at that point, he turns to carry on walking away.
I just kind of blindly adhere to his advice because I've already done what I need to do here, and I just start carrying off. Like,
as he gets to the edge of the sort of the pathway that leads onto a larger path, heading north and south, you think, from where the sun is, he says there's a town about an hour to the north. The girl turns to you and says, "That's Ardington. That's where we're from."
Okay.
All right, great. Why don't we bring you back home then?
Okay, they head over towards Cain to just again keep a little bit of distance. They seem a little bit wary of you in what's gone on so far. Obviously, they're still devastated by what's happened, but you can tell that they're relieved to have their own lives, but they lost their sister in this. Anything else anyone else wants to do?
What type of stuff is lying? Like, there's still like, weapons and stuff all.
Yeah. So on the floor there is one large club.
That's it.
There are 2 daggers.
Yeah, it's just club.
There's a quarterstaff. There is 1 javelin, steel. There is a mace and a light crossbow with 10 bolts.
I'll grab one of the daggers.
Man, I was hoping for a sword. I guess go for the mace.
I mean, there is the 2-handed great sword that was on the orc picked up, but that is a big weapon.
I thought that was an axe.
Sorry, a great axe. That looks like it would take a huge amount of strength just to.
How much is a huge amount?
He was a large. I mean, you're welcome to pick it up and try it. He was a large orc. What are your stats, Jordan?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your strength?
+3.
Okay. I mean, you could wield it. Whether you'd be able to fight particularly well. Yeah, particularly well with it. But I mean, you feel like if you used it, you'd get used to the weight.
I'm proficient with all weapons, so I'd hope that would give me a little bit of a
yeah, I mean, it's a large weapon, but you're welcome to take it with you.
Sure.
And Aiden's group don't seem to be particularly interested in the weapons. They're after the rewards that the armor brings.
Yeah, I guess there's not like a shield or anything there, so I'll take that.
No.
Yeah.
I'll take. I also want. Can I bring the mace as well and just kind of equip that on the side?
Yeah.
Cool.
Scott, I'm gonna pick up the other dagger and the quarterstaff.
Okay.
Can I get the information on those weapons?
Yeah, so you can. So the what have we got? Daggers are 1d4 piercing damage, obviously.
Yep.
They all look like bog standard weapons. Quarterstaff is 1d6 bludgeoning damage. Great axe, I haven't got the stats for, so I'll find that in a second.
Should be a d12, I believe.
The mace is 1d6 bludgeoning. Did someone pick up the crossbow, or did you leave that?
I don't need
that. Okay. And I'll find the axe in a bit, Jordan.
Okay. I guess I don't have a ranged. I might as well pick up the crossbow just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the axe is a 1d12 because that's what I use in your campaign, Jordan.
Crossbow is a 1d8.
Okay.
Piercing.
And all right.
Okay.
How many bolts are there?
8, I think I said. 10, sorry.
Oh, 10 bolts. Thank you.
Scott, what
use them
kind
all
of
at once.
crossbow was it?
Just a light crossbow.
I might take that unless you want it, Jordan.
I just wanted it so I'd have a ranged attack.
All right, yeah, you can take it.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
just
nice.
say I do remember you have -1 dex, so
Me? No, I +1.
no, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a ranged weapon?
I have spells.
Ah, okay.
I wasn't sure if I could use it or not, but I can, and didn't want to go to waste. But yeah, if you need a ranged attack, then feel free.
Yeah, all of my spells are basically like either detect or like crap heal. And then I have my move that just sounds like the masturbation attack, lay on hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, Abel Grain and his band of men disappear. They wish you good luck, Godspeed, as they head off south down the road. You knowing that the closest town is to the north.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's obviously where the girls are heading, because that's where they're from. That's where they were heading with their leathers and their gold.
Yeah, and I blindly just because I don't know these people really, so I'm just kind of listening to what the guy said, and I'm heading that way as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay, so
letting
you're-
I realize that the girls are like iffy about me, so I'm letting them, walk a few feet ahead of me, but definitely checking out their asses.
Okay. So the one in the darker blue dress has got a nicer ass than the one in the lighter blue dress. I should have made you roll perception for that.
That's a terrible perception.
He's proficient in ass ogling, though.
He'll do some insight.
Blah. Okay, so you're heading down the road.
Yeah.
You're about an hour away as you start heading down the road. The sun is slowly setting behind the trees as you head down. It's a tree-lined path, a bit like you're in at the moment. It looks like a well-trodden path, to be fair. Do you want to do anything on that journey?
This is the part where we introduce our characters.
Not necessarily.
No.
I mean, you're more than welcome to walk in silence.
Yeah.
And I think
mean, I
unless
was-
somebody else says something, that's basically what my character would do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna
mine
wait
as
until we
well.
get into town and find an inn or
Okay.
something.
Well, as you're walking, I mean, because of everything else that's gone on, the walk is quite pleasant actually. It's the weather's quite nice. The fact that you're out in the daylight and the smell of the forest and everything that you've gone through,
And the girls are crying over their dead sister.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
everything is quite pleasant apart from the loss that these girls had suffered. And I guess Cain, from your point of view, the fact that
Yeah.
you were trying to save someone and both of them ended up meeting their demise. One you feel could have been avoided, certainly, and
Both I
maybe
felt could have been avoided.
maybe the other as well. As you continue walking, you reach a path in the road. It splits into two. To the right, you notice a town. You notice a 15-foot high wooden wall around a town. In that doorway, in that entranceway, you spot a group of figures holding torches. Sort of holding weapons. They look like they're ready to leave, to enter. It looks like they're gathering for something.
Are they wearing crimson?
It's a long way away, but you can sense there is not a great deal of red involved.
Okay.
They look like civilians. That's when the girls look. They obviously recognize the town. It's where they're from. As you continue walking slowly, one of them shouts "Father" and starts running towards the town. The other one in tow, sprinting towards the group of people. As they get there, you see the first girl who's in the sort of the lead, the one with the nicer ass, wraps her arms around a large sort of rotund man in the middle of the group. Looks relatively sort of middle-aged, maybe slightly older than that. The other one catches up and joins the embrace. You guys, I take it, are carrying on a sort of leisurely pace to get there, or
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
continuously walking at my normal
Okay.
speed.
as you get closer, you sort of enter the town. The people who are in the doorway are looking quite wearily at you, but obviously because you're with the girls, they're okay. They've also been listening intently to what the girls have been saying. As you reach the group, you hear the younger girl who was in the lead in the race back say that Jemima didn't make it. And at that point, you can see this elderly man, their father, handlebar moustache, grey mullet,
Hulk Hogan.
grey mullet, obviously visibly upset by this. You can tell that he's devastated, but at the same time relieved that he has two of his daughters back. You know, he thanks the group. He turns and thanks you. You know, and you can tell that he's sincere in his thanks. And he puts his arms around his daughters and heads off towards his house. The rest of the group sort of look you up and down, and you can tell that there's a sense of relief amongst them. You can see that they were probably getting ready to go and try and find these girls. And as they head off, some go home, some go to taverns. It leaves pretty much two men standing with you. The first one who approaches you is a stocky man. He's clearly seen combat. He's got a beard that barely covers some of the scars. He's got short greyish brown hair. He's got an eagle embroidered on his chest, and as you look around, you can see that looks like the town's emblem. He reaches out a hand to shake yours. As he does, a taller, skinny man with the same eagle embroidered, sporting a mullet and attempting to grow a handlebar moustache, puts his hand in front and says, "All right, I'm Brian, part of the City Watch here at Ardington." As he does, the old man just turns and stares at him. You know, he glares at him. As he does, Brian takes a step backwards, and the old man says, "I'm Devon Humberstock, in charge of the town's watch. Thanks for bringing the girls back. Do you mind answering a few questions, and then we can find out about finding you some clothes, maybe a place to stay and some food?"
That would be great.
Okay, they lead you off towards the only stone building that you can see in the town. It's pushed right up against the surrounding fence inside the town. As you go over to it, it's a fairly small building. Devon opens the door. As he opens the door, you see him sort of beside him. You see a couple of cells. To the right, you spot sort of a partition wall behind it. Looks like there's a bed and a table. Looks like some living quarters. In front of the cells is a desk with one chair behind it. There's two chairs in front of it. Devon walks in, ushers sort of beckons or gestures that there's a seat for you, and then takes his seat behind the desk. As you guys go in, who does what?
Is there a seat for all of us, or is it just like one?
There's only two chairs.
I lean against the wall.
I was going to do the same.
Down.
Okay, so none of you sit down.
We all brood and look really cool. We all look like we're the main cast of an anime.
So
Pretty much, yeah.
As you all stand at the back, Brian sort of pushes past you between the chairs between the chairs and the desk. He sort of looks at you a bit weird for not sitting down, and then squeezes behind the desk and desperately looks for somewhere for him to sit. He tries to lean up against the wall, looking brooding like you guys, but fails. So he then pushes some sort of knickknacks and clutter off the top of one of the desks. You hear it sort of scrape across this desk while the rest of the room is silent, and then perches his backside just on the corner of the desk. As he does, you hear a clunking noise as something falls off that little table to the floor. Devon turns around and just glares at him, and he turns back to you. You can see he's a little bit bamboozled by the fact that none of you are sitting down, and he says, "Please take a seat." I mean, sit in it, don't take it with you.
I just kind of look over at them to, they can basically kind of looking at them, letting them know they can sit down, and I just look back at the guy.
Okay, so Devon goes to open his mouth. As he does, Brian goes, "So why don't you tell us what happened?" At that point, Devon just turns straight back round to Brian and glares at him again. Turns back to you guys and says, "So why don't you tell us what happened?"
We escaped.
Escaped what?
Some guys apparently kidnapped us. Crimson something. I didn't really.
Lotus.
Yeah, Crimson Lotus.
The what?
That's all we know. They're the
Okay.
Crimson Lotus.
What do you mean? What's the Crimson Lotus?
They wear bright blue. No.
They wore what?
That's-
Red?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
red, and their
So why
emblem
did-
was a lotus.
We were stuck by a gang that trapped us called the Crimson Lotus. They held us and several others captive. Whenever we escaped, we were able to save your daughter, or daughters, except for him, and I point at 25, who went out of his way to make sure to kill innocents to save himself. He probably would have done the same to your daughters.
They're not my
Um,
daughters. They're.
Your daughters of your town,
Oh, okay. Right.
your town's daughters.
Okay.
They all
Yeah.
birthed them.
The royal your
Oh, okay. Sorry, silly me. As he he obviously hasn't ever heard of the Crimson Lotus before, but he also feels like he doesn't quite get the whole story that you guys tell. So he sort of looks you up and down and says, "Well,
Doesn't it make sense? We were trapped. We were chased by spiders. People fell downstairs and we escaped.
but why?
Yeah.
What did they want with you?
Good question.
We
I don't, have
don't
anything
know.
to give.
So what do you know of the Crimson Lotus?
They're a bunch of
there's-
assholes.
There's a band of barbarians or mercenaries that are killing them for game and sport and monetary value or monetary gain.
Okay.
They were the ones that ultimately came to assist us whenever we were all working together to take out just a single orc and a bleeding, dying old man. Good thing
Okay,
we
so
were there. He was also blind.
So you don't know why they wanted you.
No.
You don't know what
No
they
clue.
want as a group.
No.
Okay. Where was this?
Like an hour away.
Okay.
Hours
but
south
of
they're all dead.
I mean, other than the
Yeah.
giant spider and all of
And-
the babies.
Yeah, and baby
What?
spiders. And baby spiders that's eating the 2 dead bodies of people who wanted to join the
It's
Crimson
Don't
Lotus.
forget the slimes.
At
Oh,
this
yeah,
moment, he
slimes.
can't make out whether he actually thinks you lot are just making up a story, or
Yeah, there's
or
also slimes
okay,
and cage contraptions hooked to pulleys.
okay.
Was a grand old time.
I mean, at this moment in time, he's a bit bamboozled
The
by it all.
18th dragon.
You get the feeling that the only reason he's actually going to offer some assistance is because the girls came back with you. You
Yeah.
know, you get the feeling that that's the only reason he's extending any kind of friendship, because based on the fact that none of you have sat down in his room and are all standing at the back of the room, sort of telling
Yep.
this story that doesn't really tie up. Is okay. So what do you do now?
I just kind of look around, I guess, at the room, and I ask what the girls were doing out when they were captured.
So Ardington's a small town. The only real production we have is cattle. They own a cattle farm outside of town, and they were selling levers, and they never returned.
I just
You know,
want to
so-
make sure the stories matched up. Okay.
It's a journey that they make every week, every 2 weeks, and this is the first time obviously anything like this has happened. So hearing of a gang that a band of mercenaries are hunting, that for someone's obviously paying for them to hunt them.
Been around for a while.
Who's been around for a while?
The Crimson Lotus. I mean, if there's groups and parties of people being paid to hunt them, they must have been causing some havoc.
Who's paying them?
Good question.
Yeah.
I guess it was the capital city.
Yeah, I believe one of the men said capital city.
Okay.
Probably the spiders.
Okay. Well, right. Well, I'll head over to the tavern and speak to Quintuk. Brian, can you see if you can find these guys some clothes?
That would be lovely.
Brian sort of nods a couple of times. Devon stands up from behind the desk, says thanks once again, and heads off into out of the room. Devon heads behind the partition and is rummaging around in a crate. Manages to find some common clothes, nothing particularly nice. The best you can say about it is that it fits. But you're talking just run of the mill, almost peasant style clothing. It's just slightly better than that level, but it covers up various parts that maybe weren't so covered prior to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Ignis was checking out 2 chicks while walking down the road, and so I'm assuming, probably needed some covering.
Okay, so you, I guess you put your clothes on.
Yeah.
Are any of you still going in just your loincloth type?
No, I'm just gonna put some pants on.
I realize you're trying to be hospitable, so I put the clothes on.
Okay, and so you head over the road. There's in the town. It's quite a quaint little town. There's a few wooden houses surrounding the areas. Sense that they're lived in by the few residents of this town. It doesn't look huge, as you know from what he said. There's a few farms dotted around outside the boundaries. You didn't really see any on the way up, but you see some hills in the background. So it looks like quite a pleasant little place as the sun is going down. You head over to the largest building in the town. It's sort of a large wooden building. You see a sign above it saying the Plump Calf. As you head in, it's quite a lively place considering the size of the town. You walk in there. There's a gnome playing a flute, standing on the corner of an empty table. There's people sort of chatting and drinking, and you get the feeling from the locals in there that they're trying to put on a brave face based on what just happened. The fact that it's quite a tight-knit community and that someone's lost. They're trying to celebrate the girls being returned rather than the other side of the story.
Right.
As you look into the bar, you see Devon talking to a large bald man at the back of the bar. He looks you up and down and beckons you towards the empty table near the bar, and nods to Devon.
Mm-hmm.
Wander over.
Yeah, I go.
Yeah, I go.
And stand against the wall.
I've got a phobia of chairs.
Yeah.
As you sit down, the barman
pile
comes
chairs
over.
on top of each other and lean against those.
As you sit down, the barman comes over and he places some ale in front of you. He looks you up and down and says, "Thank you very much for bringing the girls home safe. I can provide you with some food tonight and tomorrow morning. I can give you somewhere to stay. If you want to stay any longer than that, you're going to have to pay your way, and it will only be staying in my storeroom. That's the only room I've got. We don't often get visitors and travelers here." And he heads off back behind the bar. You hear him shout something out the back of the bar. Hear someone shout back quite angrily and snappily, and then he comes back to the bar and carries on polishing glasses or spitting in glasses and doing bits and pieces behind the bar. Devon comes back over, nods to you all, once again says thank you, says he'll come and see you in the morning, and then heads off out of the bar. At that point, Brian sits down with you at the table, looks round, and then realizes that he hasn't got a beer, gets up and heads to the bar. He stands there speaking to Quintok for a few seconds and then comes back down and sits down. He looks very relieved. You're not really sure why. He sits down and he looks at you and says, "Thank you very much for saving Helena. She's lovely, isn't she? She's lovely."
Brian, where'd your accent go?
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's coming back. He's just had a sip of beer and it hit him right in the back of the throat. And he looks all of you up and down, and you can see that he's really relieved that the girls are back. He's more relieved that one of the girls is back than the other. He hasn't mentioned the other one, and he goes on to say how much he admires Helena, which is the nice-arsed one. He's like, "Oh, and I'm gonna get married to her. I'm gonna marry her. I love her. She just doesn't know it yet."
Is she there? Can I go and just tell her?
she's not there. She's headed off to her home with her father and her sister. Yeah, he seems quite genuine. He seems truly relieved, and he genuinely believes that they are meant to be and will get married.
I'm gonna say, well, she's a lucky gal. She has you, and I give him a good slap on the back.
He coughs as he gets slapped on the back as he was taking a sip of his beer at that point in time, and he looks at you and says, "So, what's your story then?"
Or something like this, Jesse.
Yeah. So what are you lot? What are you lot? How are you lot all together? What's your story?
Oh, I thought we were just brooding and flexing. Yeah. I don't know these people.
Yeah, we all woke up in a caged. Or we all woke up in separate cages in a cave.
This one's a sex fiend, but he lent me a hammer, so I can't hate him. But the one over there is a murderer.
And he looks at you. I mean, he obviously feels like he's heard this story before, and it's still a little bit dodgy. He's not quite sure what to believe and whether people are joking or not. But you get the feeling with Brian that that's always potentially the case.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, what are your names?
Steve. No. Cain.
Where are you from, Cain?
I'm from all around. I'm an ethereal being. I'm in Esmer. I'm the dark type. So I'm from the heavens and crap. So I mean, trying to describe that.
He's like,
I'm like an angel.
Is that your first bit? And then his eyes turn to Ignis, who's just wearing pants.
Yep.
And I'm sensing he can see the things on your back.
Yeah, sure.
I thought you were gonna say the bump in the pants, but okay.
And he just looks. He obviously beckons you to speak.
Ignis fam Frit at your service.
So how many beers have you had? Is that your first?
First today?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you?
Me, well, I'm what you call an incubus.
Oh, what? You're what?
Yeah, he's the whole band.
Pardon me.
I'm
I wondered what they were doing these days.
an incubus. I'm from.
What's one of them?
Well, for me, I come from a far away place. It doesn't really have a existence. It just kind of where it is.
At that point, Brian's like, "What? Like the Evans?" And then starts giggling to himself while looking at Cain and realizes there's no reaction from anyone, and then just goes back to looking at Ignis.
Kind of along the same principle as this guy, but I'm more like everywhere but nowhere.
He just looks at you very confused, and then he sense 25 as he turns to you. You sense that he's just looking for any kind of normality. He looks at you like, please just say something I understand.
My name is 25.
Yeah. I don't really have a name. They called me 25.
At that point, you can see he's visibly deflated. He looks around and there's people sort of jovial moods around the bar. They're doing their best to celebrate the fact that these girls have come back, and then realizes that he's sitting at a table with you, and that you've got no idea who you are, and that none of you seem to be any kind of normal that he's used to.
God, all our backstories are great. We don't even know them completely, but I just know that they're all great.
So what's you haven't got a name?
No, they called me 25. I
Who
come
did?
from, well,
A
down
land
below, I
under.
guess. A nice,
Down below.
nice, lovely cavern in the Underdark.
At that point, he just sighs. He's like, I was going to ask if any of you knew how to woo a lady, but
I'm abstinent.
he picks up his beer and says thanks again and kind of walks off towards another group in the bar.
I'm gonna
just
say-
looking for-
I feel like the succubus would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I get the feeling that based on what he's seen so far, he's kind of at the point where actually I'm far better off being somewhere different. He does.
Wait. If it's wooing a lady, then you've come to the right table, my friend.
Okay, his eyes perk up a bit and he pulls the chair back down. Sits right on the edge of the seat, as close to you as possible.
Be respectful.
Sorry, is that the advice?
Yeah.
No.
And then I drink my water that's in an ale glass.
Okay.
Or wine.
He's
That's
yeah.
more symbolic.
With wine, yeah. I mean,
Red
he's
wine.
partly right. You need to find that perfect balance of being nice and respectful, but also being an asshole or a dick. You don't want to be too far. You need to find a nice medium.
So you want me to be a nice, respectful dick? He goes,
Something like that.
One of the guys told me that I should write a letter. Do you think I should write a letter?
Are you one that knows how to write, Brian?
Yeah, I can write.
Just thought I would ask.
Of course I can write.
So is the
Well,
the
it-
master your father?
Sorry?
The man in charge of the Night's Watch? Is he your father? The man with
No, that's
the
Devin.
handlebar mustache? Yeah.
No,
Well, I
that's
didn't
Devin.
know. You kind of have a similarity to
So-
him, so I was
So the geezer with the handlebar mustache was the daughter's
Oh,
the girl's
okay.
dad.
So
you
is
do
he
get the
your
sense,
dad?
You do get the sense from
'Cause I
looking
hope
at them
not.
that he's trying to look as much as he can like their father.
He read a lot of Sigmund Freud, didn't he?
I'd like to say.
He knows that the ladies are going to like what their father is.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
this handlebar moustache isn't anything to write home about. It's
No,
not good.
It's more of a Hitler.
The mullet, on the other hand, is pretty impressive. And he turns and looks at 25. He says, "Have you got any advice?"
You don't want my advice.
Okay, because I think I'm going to write a letter. I think I'm going to write a letter, and he gets up, downs the rest of his beer, slams the mug down on the table, says thanks, and heads off out the door. At that point, some food comes out. Essentially,
Of Brian.
essentially some meat, some bread, some stew type dish. It doesn't look fantastic, but that being said, you don't know how long it's been since you last ate.
Right.
Does anyone know how to turn this bread into fish? Just curious.
Quintock, as he slams it down, just glares at you, shakes his head, and turns around and walks off.
That's more out of character, but all right.
Yeah.
He could probably still be annoyed with me.
Okay, is there anything you guys want to do, or
I pretty much eat as fast as possible.
Yeah, I respectfully take my time and just kind of eat a bit. I try not to, I leave some for everybody else.
I go
Yeah,
at
you
a,
got your own-
at a
you got your
casual
own-
pace.
Enough to fill myself, yeah, to just
Yeah.
slow.
yeah, you've got your own serving, so there's enough there.
Okay,
for a
so yeah, I'm
hearty-
basically just like grazing.
There's enough there for a hearty meal. You get the feeling it's sort of the early part of the evening, so there was food underway, preparation. But as the night's gone on, you've brought over some more ale, water, whatever you need to drink. He points out the door and says the stock room is out there. You can stay there, just don't eat anything, don't steal anything. It's not the most comfortable. I've got some blankets, but that's the only place I've got for you.
Well, I mean, it's better than that cave we were in.
There.
Yeah, he said that Devon told him a bit about the story, and it sounds insane. But
Been through worse.
Steve.
If you think that story's insane.
I know. I mean, I definitely seen worse.
I'm sure he's had stories to tell, pointing to the incubus.
Yeah, he sort of
Yeah.
checks out your wings.
I mean, they're
doesn't-
like they're still like folded in, but yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
I
are
mean,
too.
you can
Mhm.
sense that these people have not seen anything quite like your group
Yeah.
before, you know. And normally they would be very wary, but the fact that you returned the girls has lent them a bit of leeway in their judgments.
Yeah.
They
Not
almost-
being like one to be in crowds of people and stuff like that. As soon as he mentions the back room or whatever, I'll make my way back.
Okay.
Kind of. I don't actually need sleep. I go into a trance, but I'll take one of the blankets. Gonna just
Okay.
sit in the corner. Blanket.
Yeah, I mean the room. There's a relatively large floor space, although there's quite a lot of stuff stored in there. You know, there's a reasonable amount of room for all of you to find somewhere to sleep. What about you two?
Yeah, I kind of want to sit there and just, I guess, eavesdrop and just see what's going on, see if I learn anything about the town, make
Yeah,
sure it's
it's-
safe for me. The other two I
Okay.
still don't really know.
Roll a, I guess, perception.
Yeah, all right. And that's
Kyle, do you want to roll one as well? I take it you're
Um,
still in the room.
No, I was gonna do something different.
Okay.
and that's a total of 11, by the way.
Okay. So as the night goes on, you sort of sit at the table. There's a couple of people come over and try and make conversation with you. They're a little bit worse for wear. You know, they're more sort of saying thank you than really probing for too much information. You can see that they're still a little bit weary of you.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they kind of have heard the stories passed on from other people that you saved the day. So they're more thankful from anything else. You don't really pick up too much other than a few grumblings about people and cattle going missing, but not. You know, you don't hear whole conversations. You hear snippets. You hear names. You hear Eldner mentioned, but you can't really piece everything together. You know, it feels like there's something else going on, but you're not quite sure what. And unless you make an attempt to prize that information out of people, you're probably not going to find out anymore.
All right. Well, once I get my fair share of that, I also head to
Okay.
sleep.
You walk in the room, you see 25 kneeling in the corner. You head into the stock room.
Mhm. I'm nice enough to not kill him with the axe and lay down to
Okay.
go to sleep.
Okay. Kyle, you're the only one left standing.
What time of day or night is it?
It's not too late. I mean, you've had a long old day, so it's
Yeah,
sort of-
because I would assume this is while I was still eavesdropping, he'd be doing this
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So this is kind of 9-10 o'clock-ish at night. You know, it's getting to the late part of the evening, but not late. You know, it's sort of a reasonable hour still.
Yeah.
You know, the tavern's still quite busy. There's still quite a lot of people in there. The gnome is getting back up to play some more music.
I'm just gonna kind of stroll around town, get a good look at it, see if there's any hot ladies to pick up.
Okay. I mean, as you head out, you sort of wander around. You can't see any guards or anything in the town.
They have
You also-
mullets and handlebar mustaches.
You also can't see too many people out on the streets. You sense that the bar is kind of where the majority of, or the tavern is the kind of place where most of the people go. Either the other residents of this town live outside of the walls and have farms, or you know are just in their homes. You know, it's literally you can see from one end of the town to the other. You know, it's maybe 10, 12 houses and a tavern and a city watch.
Right. All right.
Doesn't seem to be many people around.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a good look at the town, so I guess I will head back
Heading-
into the bar then.
Yeah, heading back into the bar. There's a few people in there. There's maybe 6 or 7 people. Most of them seem to be couples. You also get the feeling that none of them. You know, roll perception for me.
All right.
Okay, so
15.
as you look around, most of the people seem to be in groups. You know, you can't see that there's any single females. I'm guessing is what you're probably looking for.
Yeah.
Most of them seem to be with partners or families. And although there is sort of this almost jovial mood, you can still sense there's this undertone of doing their best to put on a brave face on it.
All right.
That being said, none of them look particularly attractive either.
Maybe the next town.
Maybe the next town.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the back room.
Okay.
Well, how big is it?
It's big enough for 3 of you to fit in. Pretty much lay down. That's pretty much it. You know, it helps that 25 is kneeling in the corner of the room rather than laying. You know, there's sort of grain sacks. There's barrels. There's food, but it's it's a storeroom essentially, and it's a storeroom that they clearly use.
Yeah.
Back to back, Ignis.
Get tickled by his feathers.
Which ones? Because we both have feathers.
Yeah.
More or less.
You got feathers? I thought yours were like bat wings.
Yeah,
or
they're more like bat
or whatever
wings.
they are.
So yours would
Yeah.
be hairy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take it you find a place to sleep.
Yeah, I kind of do. It's not laying down, but I'm kind of like sitting down, but like on a sitting down, but like on my back is like slanted.
Okay, so you'll drift off. You know, the pounding head that you had earlier is sort of
Whoa.
subsiding. Hey, Jesse.
I said we're back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pain seems to have subdued a little bit from clearly where you were smashed on the back of the head. You'll all get through the night. Do we want to take a break here?
Can do.
Yeah, we
Also,
can.
Scott, you're not even in frame anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're not.
How long's it been?
Right now we're at 2:46.
So it's been about an hour and like 10 minutes.
Okay. How long have you got left, Jesse?
We could call it for the night. Actually, I can try and get some sleep again.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
if you
kind of need another good night's sleep.
It was a rough night last night.
By the way, is Phil still passed out on your couch?
Yeah.
You might want to make sure he's still breathing. I think he'd like had a drunk pass out like 13 hours ago.
He's been attacked by a giant spider.
No, he just rolled over a little. He is conscious.
I mean that
Barely.
still could have been gas escaping.
He's right. It's
Okay,
Rick and
so-
Morty setting in.
Yeah.
Rick or Morty setting in?
No, yeah, Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys, we'll call it here. As you guys sort of, it reaches the early morning. Jesse, you're still in your trance. You know, you're obviously alert. As you sort of lay there, there's a banging on the door. It's relatively early. It's maybe
Ignis, go back to sleep.
8-9, maybe 8-9 o'clock in the morning. You know, so it's not
Banging
too
on
early,
the
but
door.
it's early. There's another bang. You hear Devon shout, "Are you guys up? Can you come and meet me in the bar?" And
We
then
are now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get up and start walking.
you hear footsteps leading off.
Yep. I'll get up.
Okay.
Make
As you
my way
walk
to
in
the
through
bar.
the side door of the bar, you see Quintox still standing behind the bar, spitting into glasses and cleaning them, the ones from last night. He gives you a bit of a nod, and it heads out the back. Devon is sitting in the bar at a table, sitting sort of by himself. There's no one else in there. Bar looks relatively clean. Looks like they did a lot of cleaning last night. It's just the last few remnants of plates and bowls, etc., that they're clearing up. As you see Devon, you can see he looks worried. He looks concerned. He sort of agitated. He wants you to hurry up and sit down. Gestures at the seats once more.
I'll take a seat this time because there is no wall right near there.
You
Yeah, I'll
see,
take
there's a little
seat as
glimmer of there's a little glimmer of relief.
He turns it around backwards and
Yeah.
sits.
Yeah.
There's a little glimmer of relief as you sit down.
I mean, I sat down last time when we were at the bar.
Yeah, no, he's more that he's offered you a seat and you've sat down.
Right.
He's relieved by.
How many seats are in here?
There's lots.
It's an
you know,
empty
maybe,
bar.
Maybe 20, 25 seats.
I sit at the other side of the
Okay.
bar.
He still looks relieved that you know how to sit. He looks at you. He's clearly agitated. He's worried. He's like, Brian's gone. His house is locked, but he's not in it. Do you know what happened to him last night?
He said he was gonna write a love letter.
Yeah, he's
and then
probably at
left.
home in his house. I'd check there.
Okay, well, I did do the rounds this morning and didn't see anyone. You see that there's maybe more to this than he's giving you the information for. He goes on to say that this isn't the first time someone's vanished from their home.
Yeah, we just brought 2 of them back.
Yeah, well, no, this is different. He says it started about a month ago. The cattle from the McKeith farmstead up on the hill started going missing. We at first assumed it was wolves or bandits, but it became more frequent. And there's no blood or tracks. No signs of a struggle. It's just like 1 minute someone was there, the next minute they're gone. Last week it was Eldner.
Is he implying that Brian's a cow?
Last week it was Eldner.
I don't know, it might be.
And then it was Robert and Ingrid, and now I think Brian's gone as well. I don't have much to give you, but I've got to stay in the town. Is there any way you guys will be able to help out? You maybe find out what's happening.
Sure.
At this point in time, he's looking at Cain because he senses Cain is the one that he needs to win over. I can give you 5 gold each.
I don't need money.
I can see if I can give you some armor or weapons. We've not got a lot in the watch, but I can give you something, I'm sure.
Cain kind of takes a moment to meditate on this and looks up at the sky and all this other weird, boring angel bull crap. And
does 10 Hail Marys.
Yeah, it goes and but he messes up, and then like some spooky face appears in the mirror and screams at him. But no, yeah, he realizes this could be one step closer to redemption, so he agrees to help.
Okay, and he turns and looks at Ignis. Probably
why not?
wary most of all of Ignis. Than that seems to be a theme.
In every game that Kyle plays.
Yeah, I guess not only. I guess it's more in this scenario. It's more because of the wings. Although you've both got wings, people are aware of the scenario of what certain types.
Mine are pretty.
Yeah, that's exactly it. No, there's this sense that because your wings are feathered, maybe you're the right
Although
side.
they are dark type of one, probably like Spike It and.
Yeah, but I think as he looks at your wings and then to Ignis's wings, he makes a snap judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine are like a dark red.
Mine look like Sephiroth's, but 2 of them.
So he's like, well, I mean, why don't you guys head up to the McKeith farmstead, and I'll dig out Brian's key. I've got his key somewhere. I'll dig it out, and we can have a look around there next. He goes on to tell you that the McKeith homestead is literally a 10-minute walk up the hill. He goes on to tell you that they're one of the major cattle farms in the area. They provide a lot of income to the town based on the size of their farm and the work that they do.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And I guess that's where we'll call it.
Sounds
Speaking
good.
of which, Scott, the series, what are you going to call it?
Crimson Lotus, I think,
Yeah, okay.
or Tales of the Broody Bunch.
Oh,
The
man.
broody.
The broody. Yeah.
Tales from the miserable bastards who don't sit at tables.
Well, that was the thing, because I was like, I'm going to try the broody type character, but then I'm like, the other people are broody, so now I'm going to up it to be the broody one of the
Yeah.
broods. So I got
The real Broody Bunch.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not broody. I just have a way of if I'm gonna sit down or if I'm gonna lean against
No,
the
you
wall.
have a way of,
It's hard for us to do. We have wings.
yeah, you
Yeah,
have a
that
way
too.
of sizing up every female and not listening to the story. Desperately
Yeah.
trying to crack onto anything that moves.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
great when we get into a big town. I cannot
Well,
wait
that's
for
why
that.
whenever you mentioned some of them were like a couple or whatever, I was like, I don't think
Yeah.
that would bother a succubi. I'm sure they'd be like, okay, we'll go for both.
Yeah,
No,
right.
it was more the fact that I felt like the sorrow.
Oh my god. He didn't mind hitting on them as soon as they found out his sister was dead to go for the grief card, but as some time passed, he felt bad about hitting on the people who aren't related to the dead person. I like it. Okay.
While they were partying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll pick it up next week, I guess. Same
Yep.
sort of time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
We might
Good
have
to
we
me.
might have some more people.
Yeah, hopefully.
We
hopefully
might not.
one, maybe two more.
If
Yeah.
Phil wakes up, maybe he'll join.
He'll definitely be broody.
Yeah, right.
Or hungover.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
much so.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody who has listened, joined, watched. You can find this on all good podcast related stores, maybe.
Yeah, and it'll be on
Um,
YouTube and
You can see it on the YouTube channel on Saturday Morning Gamers, so check that out if you haven't already. And we do this pretty much every Monday when we can.
Yeah.
Also, go and check out True Friends Gaming channel.
hey,
That's Jordan.
and
Chiba
Kyle.
Kai Plays. That's
Yo.
Kyle, who's also part of True Friends Gaming. And PlayerTwoInsertCoin,
No one wants to
Jesse.
check that out.
25, the Moody Drow.
Yeah.
There's a shocker.
And next
Don't say
week,
that to the or incubus.
next week, you guys have got the exciting adventure of checking out a cattle farm
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
where there's a giant spider
No, I would say vampire.
cow, giant cow.
Vampire cow.
Vampire cow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Scott. Make sure to check out
Thanks,
his channel
Scott.
as well, Scottdoggaming.
My pleasure.
Yep.
I was looking around to stop the stream. I feel a bit naked not having to press any buttons.
So used to it.
Later, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.